off and running here. Tuesday edition of the AFR. Musso in for Moscone. We're presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Jordan Kitchens, Taylor Sharp along for the ride, and we're glad to have you along for the ride as well. No Sports Center there at the top of the hour today, unfortunately. It sounds like they're airing a soccer game on ESPN National, so we'll just get started a little bit earlier than normal here on AFR. Final show of the week. We're off for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas, back on Monday. So this is it for us on the week. And boy, are we jam-packed. Lane Kiffin has finalized his staff, so we'll get into all of that. Two different segments actually there. Another former, not former, I guess now former, but another LSU Tiger has entered the transfer portal ahead of the Texas Bowl. Ross Jackson is here at 4:15. Chris Marler from LouisianaSports.net and Locked On Gamecocks will be here at 5:15. I mean, we got to talk Texas Bowl. We got to talk Saints Titans. We are jam-packed and glad to have you along for the ride. So let us go ahead and begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Lost my headphones there. All right. So on yesterday's show, we talked about the addition of Kevin Smith to the LSU staff and noted that there were still a few more positions that still were yet to be officially announced. Well, come Monday evening, really not that long after we got off air, all of those were officially announced. In fact, 11 coaches officially announced from LSU. So what I want to do here is I want to first just give you an overview of the staff and an opinion there. And then in the next segment, we'll go deeper into some of those newer additions like Sterling Lucas, like Joe Houston coming over from Florida to coordinate the special teams and what that kind of means. But just in general, an overview of this inaugural staff that Lane Kiffin has put together. Because, look, a head coach does a lot of things that are important when running a football team. There is nothing more important than hiring your staff. That makes or breaks a tenure for a head coach. Look at Ed Orgeron. When Ed Orgeron had to replace most of the assistants retained and had to replace Joe Brady and things of that nature, you missed on Jake Peets, right? You missed on Durante Jones. It derailed things, along with some other stuff in the program there. Les Miles was great at hiring coaches and led to a long sustained success. Look at all the success Nick Saban has had hiring coaches. He's been so good at it. That's how you sustain success long term, right? Is with good hires. Hell, Les Miles was so good at hiring coaches, he hired his own replacement. Hiring the staff is the most important thing because those are the guys, along with the head coach, who recruit the talent to campus and then develop it and allow you to win football games. And man, on paper, it looks like Lane Kiffin hit a grand slam with this staff. Aside from the names that you know, like Charlie Weiss Jr., now Kevin Smith, all right, Joe Cox, Blake Baker, everyone else he also brought in looks fantastic. We played a clip from Whit Weeks on this show last week, talking about the most important thing LSU did, the most important thing Lane Kiffin did was retain Blake Baker. And he's absolutely right. And it's not just because Blake Baker's defense was very, very good this year. It's not just the turnaround that Blake Baker has led at LSU since they fired Matt House in the last 2 years. It's just been steady improvement over improvement for Blake Baker's defense. It's not just that. It's staff continuity. It's not having to replace an entire side of the ball. And in this case, an entire staff. Because you were already replacing the entire side of the offense, right? But staff continuity. And that's something that Lane Kiffin knocked out of the park here with this group. And here's what I mean. By retaining Blake Baker, you kept continuity on the defensive side. That ends up keeping Jake Olson. That keeps Corey Raymond. That keeps Jake Olson, Kevin Peoples. And you can kind of supplement in between, which is what they did, adding Chris Kiffin to that staff as co-defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. More on that momentarily. In bringing in Sterling Lucas to be the defensive line coach and a guy like Lou Spanos to come in and be assistant D-line coach, pass rush specialist, and then Kevin Peoples is still here. You kept the continuity and were able to supplement in there. Offensively, I mean, the continuity is going to be there because Lane Kiffin was able to get all but one assistant from Ole Miss on the offensive side of the ball to come follow him to LSU. From an Ole Miss offensive unit, by the way, that averaged near 38 points per game and led the SEC in yards per game. You just pick those guys up, put them on a plane, and bring them over here. So you have great continuity on both sides of the ball where it matters most. And yeah, mix the staff together. I'm sure it'll mingle fine. But that's a huge check mark there. It's also a bunch of guys, specifically on the offense, that Lane's comfortable with. Not only did you supplement there on the defensive side, boy, you supplemented with some really good coaches. And that's where we'll get into Sterling Lucas and guys of that nature here in the next segment. But the other thing is, it's a great mix of experience. I mean, you have a guy like Lou Spanos. This is one reason I like this a lot. That's 17 years of NFL experience, 2 Super Bowl championships, but he's also been a defensive coordinator at the college level. That's just another strong voice of experience to have in the defensive rooms to go along, with Blake Baker. You have a guy in Chris Kiffin who's got plenty of experience as a college coach at multiple positions, whether it be linebacker, where he's coached at Florida Atlantic. He's been a defensive coordinator as well at Florida Atlantic. Also, defensive line. He's been able to coach that plenty of time throughout his career. Again, more voices that you can just collaborate with better. I think it only strengthens Blake Baker's staff. What I will say, the interesting move there with Chris Kiffin is the linebackers coach and co-DC aspect. I mean, you can decide, and it's different with each program, how co-coordinators really work. I mean, LSU just this past season had co-offensive coordinators with Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton. A lot of times that's a title for another coach on staff. Joe Sloan called the plays. Joe Sloan worked with the quarterbacks. And when Joe Sloan got fired, it wasn't Cortez Hankton, the co-offensive coordinator, that got elevated. It was Alex Atkins, because he was the other guy on staff with play calling experience. So how does that work? That remains to be seen. You look at Georgia. Georgia's had defensive coordinators for a while. Well, Kirby Smart gets a lot of credit for that, but Glenn Schumann's the one that calls the defense in Athens, correct? So that can mesh however they need to mesh. The linebacker aspect part of it is very interesting, because Blake Baker has coached linebackers at LSU for a lot of years since he's returned, and even in his previous stint when he had so much success with Damone Clark, and he's been very, very successful there. But again, Chris Kiffin's got a track record coaching that position as well, and what that means now is Blake Baker probably spends more time exclusively with the star linebacker position, which is a very important role in his defense. So the way you look at it on paper, and again, look, it has to play out. And that's all we can do right now on December the 23rd is talk about how things look on paper, because we haven't seen this staff go through a spring. We haven't seen this staff coach a game together. We haven't seen the development that they can get. We don't even know what the team is going to look like next year. So you're beholden to just looking at things on paper. And right now, this looks really, really good for Lane Kiffin as he heads into year one as the LSU head coach. It's the most important thing the head coach can do and does is hire his staff. And so far, it looks like Lane Kiffin has knocked this out of the park. Let's grab a break. We'll come back and we'll dive deeper into a couple of guys, particularly Sterling Lucas, Joe Houston, because Joe Houston coming over, I think, is one of the things that should make LSU fans most excited, actually, given what he's going to do with special teams and how that looked under the last regime. So we'll dive into that a little bit here, deeper into the next segment. It's AFR Tuesday show, not Thursday. Tuesday show presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We're back after this. Stay tuned.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Of course, Watermark is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. The holidays are upon us. Maybe in the next month you're going to have family members coming to stay. Listen, you don't want the in-laws squabbling at your front door. You don't want Uncle Lewis burning down your tree. Come on. You don't want Art, your father-in-law, having to lock you in the attic because he's got to get out of here to take his back. Put him up at Watermark Baton Rouge. It'd be better for everybody. Be better for them, too. My goodness, Watermark is gorgeous. It's Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. You walk in, it is the picture of luxury. All the beautiful marble, the original high-rise building in downtown Baton Rouge, the old Louisiana National Bank building. They maintain so much of the historical integrity of that building while adding modern amenities. It is awesome. Make sure you visit this holiday. Watermark, Baton Rouge.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I received at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me. Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. That's southpointvw.com. Hey, as we move toward the end of the year and toward the holidays, maybe you're thinking about buying a vehicle before the end of the year. Maybe you're buying a vehicle for a Christmas gift. The big red bow on top. You can do that. South Point Volkswagen can help. And this is a great time right now because Sign Then Drive is going on. And Sign Then Drive is the best deals of the year. 0 down, 0 due at signing, No first month's payment, no security deposit. With little else, you sign your name and you were driving away in a brand new Volkswagen from South Point Volkswagen. You want to check out their inventory? You can check it out online. If it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. And you can always just drive by and see them. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, airline just north of Highland, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
All right, back here after further review here on a Tuesday. Musso in for Moscona. Scone's out until 2026, so I'll carry the rest of the way here through the end of 2025 and the holiday season. First segment, we gave an overview on Lane Kiffin's staff, just broad thought after LSU announced 11 coaches on Monday night. What I want to do here is dive a little bit deeper into a couple of the new additions, and I want to start with Sterling Lucas, who's going to coach the defensive line at LSU. This is a huge hire for LSU right now for a lot of different reasons. Okay, number one, the turnover at defensive line coach for this program has just been absurd. And there's been a lot of different reasons for that turnover, whether it's, Kyle Williams, obviously, just leaving and going back to retirement from the NFL and coaching basically up in Ruston, getting back to, the life he was living before the alma mater called, whether it was a medical emergency, a very serious medical emergency for Jimmy Lindsay, any of the deal, coaching change, all of it. Brad Davis leaving to go to the New Orleans, Bo Davis leaving to go to the New Orleans Saints. You know the stories. The turnover has just been immense, and it's just been an oddity and insane. So getting some type of consistency in that room is massive. Sterling Lucas can hopefully provide that for you. The other reason this is so massive is look at the defensive line class LSU just brought in 2026. It's arguably the greatest defensive line class of all time. You have to have continuity there and someone who can develop that talent and then replace it. Man, that's Sterling Lucas. So Sterling Lucas comes to LSU from South Carolina. He is a great recruiter, first of all. Fifth season. Just completed his fifth season in Columbia. Has coached mainly defensive ends and outside linebackers, but was giving additional responsibilities, moved to like a run game coordinator role as well in 2025. So he's kind of coached every level of that defensive line that you can. Back to the original point, he's a phenomenal recruiter. Dylan Stewart, heard of him, the 5-star. What does this mean for his future? We'll wait and see. South Carolina's going to do everything they can to re-sign him to a new deal. Does he want to explore the transfer portal? Potentially. Would LSU be a potential landing spot? Well, with his coach here, yeah, of course it could be a potential landing spot. We'll cross that bridge when you get there. Gets a 5-star in Dylan Stewart to campus. Goes in the portal. Gets Kyle Kennard. Not just to the defensive side of the ball. He was instrumental in the recruitment of Nicholas Harbor to South Carolina and Lenora Sellers. You got an all-star on the recruiting trail in Sterling Lucas. Check that box. Now, what it also checks is development. Now, Kyle Kennard comes to South Carolina out of the transfer portal, ends up with 11.5 sacks, 15-plus TFLs, earns All-American honors, is SEC Defensive Player of the Year, and wins the Nagurski. You got to love what he's done with Dylan Stewart, but even more so than that, how about Brian Thomas Jr. at South Carolina this year? With most of the attention paid to Dylan Stewart, Sterling Lucas turns Thomas Jr. into an 8-sack guy. This is massive for LSU in terms of recruiting, hopefully finally some stability at the position, and development. When you ended up losing out on Elijah Robinson, who actually is back at Texas A&M now, you really needed to replace. And it looks like you replaced him with an equal recruiter and maybe an all-around better coach. I mean, Elijah Robinson does have Hassan Reddick to his name in his time at Temple, but maybe an all-around better coach. That will be, we'll wait and see there. But this is a big one. getting Sterling Lucas to campus. He gets the title of defensive line coach. Again, you have Kevin Peoples expected to be retained, who's been coaching your edge rushers. Lucas is very well-versed in coaching edge rushers. You also bring in Lou Spanos, who is a pass rush specialist and assistant defensive line coach. We will see how they divvy up all of those roles. But Sterling Lucas is a guy you absolutely want to have on your staff, and Lane Kiffin was able to get that done. When you look at Joe Houston, who comes over from the University of Florida to be LSU's special teams coordinator, let's just start there. Special teams coordinator. Y'all, I don't think I really have to tell you any of this. You watch the games, you know. LSU special teams were a disaster for the better part of 4 years under Brian Kelly. And a lot of that was a true special teams coordinator not having that. In 2022, you could argue that special teams was the worst unit for LSU. I would argue that, as a matter of fact. 2023 wasn't much better. 2024 wasn't much better. In 2025, early in the year, it looked like they had finally kind of exercised that demon. Ahmad Anan came in. He was doing well, doing good things. Towards the back end, special teams issues reared their ugly head again for LSU. I think having voices, multiple voices in a coaching room is a good thing. I really do. Mentioned that last segment when we talked about kind of all the co's on this LSU staff now. Is there such thing as too many cooks in the kitchen? Sure. But I don't necessarily think it was too many cooks in the kitchen for LSU on special teams under Brian Kelly. Because remember, after 2022, it was a divvying up of the responsibilities to multiple guys on staff who had other responsibilities. And I think that was the bigger issue. You had guys being or wanting guys to take away time from their actual position group or their assignment as an analyst to coach special teams. And it didn't work. Lane Kiffin bringing in one guy to be the special teams coordinator is huge. And Lane, personally, I thank you for that. And there's a lot to like about Joe Houston. There's plenty that stands out. 2 years at Florida over the special teams. Got the coordinator title coming into this last season, 2025. Florida special teams unit ranked second in the nation in both the ESPN SP Plus and the FEI special teams rankings. You had Rocco Underwood win a Manley Award as the best long snapper and earn second-team All-America honors. You had an All-American punter who was fifth in the nation in punting average. Solid. But kicking game was great, 85%. Awesome. You love that. But there's one thing. There's one area in digging into Joe Houston a little bit today that I love and that I'm actually most excited about when it comes to this. And it's the return game. LSU has inexplicably struggled in the return game as of late. There's been some changes to the kickoff rules, and most of them go out the back of the end zone, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about punt returns. And that's just a thing that should not ever happen. Because LSU has no shortage of athletes that can go back there, catch a punt, and return it. And be very, very good at it. That was really one of the things that plagued Brian Kelly's special teams as well. Starting with Malik Neighbors in 2022 as the punt returner. But that's the type of athlete LSU has and has had such success with back there as a punt returner, whether DJ Chark, Kevin Falk, Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, you go down the list, there's so many of them because that guy always exists at LSU. But you have just struggled. The punts have just become a fair catch, a guaranteed fair catch. Even with a guy like Xavier Thomas back there, LSU in 2025 averaged 8 yards per punt return. 8 yards per punt return. You look at the success that Joe Houston's punt return teams have had. In 2025 and 2024, Florida averaged 13 yards per punt return. Florida had 4 punt returns of 20 yards or more in 2025. You look at his time back at Iowa State. Iowa State in 2018 averaged 13 yards per punt return. Also in that same year, they averaged 26 yards on kickoff returns. But again, the rules changed. I look at that and I go, all right, yeah. Like all the operation stuff with him and whatnot, that looks like it's going to be fine. You've, great averages on the punting and everything. But the return game, that's hidden yards. And this guy, his units take advantage and create those hidden yards in games. And that is something that LSU has just been missing. Flat out missing for the better part of 4 to 5 years. And I really hope that Joe Houston can bring that back, because that can totally flip a game. And in LSU's case, with the athletes that they have, just the skill players, they could hit their head on the goalposts multiple times in a season. I mean, you're talking about a difference of 5 yards on average, 5-6 yards on average in the return game for LSU and pass stops for Joe Houston. And that's the thing. He's done it over the course of a lot of different schools. That part of his game has just never really wavered, which is awesome to see. And I really, really hope that he brings that to LSU, because first of all, it's an electrifying play, but just to have that back would be huge. And then Lou Spanos, we touched on that a little bit, kind of in the open. Love the experience that he brings. 17 years of NFL experience, college defensive coordinator, even a college interim head coach at UConn. There in 2021, was an analyst at Ole Miss a year ago, comes into LSU as the assistant defensive line and pass rush specialist. We'll see how all these roles actually play out with along the defensive line, like we mentioned. But that's just a lot of great experience coming in. And again, somebody who Lane Kiffin's very familiar with, that adds to the continuity. So, I mean, that's a big one. But, I mean, I really thought Lucas and Houston, those two additions out of this crop, after we talked about Kevin Smith a day ago, really, really stand out, because I think they can impact and really initiate big change for LSU in 2 units that definitely need continuity, and one that really needs the big play element back. Only time will tell, but that's Lane Kiffin's staff, and it looks like a darn good one here to start his inaugural season as the LSU head coach. Okay. Speaking of Kiffins, we know where Knox is going to play high school. Boy, this was the worst kept secret possibly ever. We'll touch on that a little bit when we get back, and we'll go around the SEC. It's a Tuesday edition of AFR. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Musso in for Moscona. We're back after this. Stay here.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Yes, hormone replacement therapy. Yes, NAD+. Yes, BPC 157. Yes, ED treatment. The bottom line is, gentlemen, I don't care how old you are. It's about how old you feel, and do you want to feel like you did when you were younger? Do you want to live a more vital life? Do you want to live a more energetic life, where you wake up in the morning, your feet hit the floor, and you're rip-roaring ready to go, where you're motivated to get in the gym, where you have a great libido, where you have great mindset, energy, mental clarity, memory, all that sort of stuff? It's possible. It's affordable. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help you do it. Hormone replacement therapy could be a giant part of that for you. NAD Plus can literally help your cellular optimization to make you younger at a cellular level. BPC 157, tremendous in helping in recovery. Learn more. yourgoodwood.com.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
It is my pleasure this week to welcome our new partner on to After Further Review, Our Lady of the Lake. Of course, great partnership as well as the official championship health partner of LSU. When you think who takes care of the LSU athletes, well, it's Our Lady of the Lake and the physicians there. Game-changing care, keeps athletes at their best, builds stronger, healthier Louisiana for all of us at every level. I've told you about my experience throughout my life living in Baton Rouge at Our Lady of the Lake, from volunteering at the Ronald McDonald Playroom to helping raise funds through so many different fundraising efforts for the standalone children's hospital to taking my son to see specialists there at Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, to my own personal health. My GP is Dr. Kurt Chastain with Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health. It's good enough for the LSU athletes. It's good enough for me and you, of course. It's Our Lady of the Lake. You can learn more at OLOLRMC.com/LSU.
All right, welcome back in. AFR here on a Tuesday. Musso in for Moscona. We'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second. This is widely, I feel like, kind of not just assumed, but known in a sense. Knox Kiffin, Lane Kiffin's son, who is a class of 2028 quarterback, was playing at Oxford High. He's now going to enroll, or is enrolled at U High. So he'll play right there on campus at LSU for the Cubs. Here, he's got 2 years of eligibility in high school left. Obviously, eligibility, 2 years of high school left. Just the current world we live in, where you have to talk about years of eligibility and whatnot. So he'll likely be the Cubs' starting quarterback for the next 2 seasons and whatnot, and then move on. Talented player. We had asked Shay Dixon about him on Eagle 98.1 Game Day a few weeks back, and Shay kind of, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but the way he kind of described it as rising player, one of those guys that still needs a little bit of development. He's only played half of a high school season, made his way up to varsity as a sophomore, played in 8 games, but was very successful, just below 60% completion percentage, 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns, and really helped lead Oxford High into the playoffs. And the level of football that Oxford High plays in Mississippi, it's no joke. It's the highest classification that they have. So, he won't feel out of place, obviously, going stepping at U High. I think the thing that most people are going to want to know now is, okay, does that mean that Knox Kiffin's going to play for LSU? And not so fast, actually, there. Knox was, with this news coming out today, gave an interview to Rivals, Adam Gorney, the national reporter for Rivals, and he was asked, Knox Kiffin was asked about potentially playing for his father, Lane, and he didn't really leave any doubt about it. He says, quote, "Knox, I don't want to play for him. I want to beat him," end quote. Now, things could maybe potentially change there, obviously, but that's the mindset right now for Knox Kiffin, is that he doesn't really want to play for his father. He wants to play against him. If you're curious about his offer list so far, again, there's a long way to go for Knox Kiffin, class of 2028. I mean, if you're just looking at Rivals, they have not even evaluated that class far enough to assign star values and rankings to it quite yet. But an offer list, he's got 3 Power 4 offers, according to Rivals, SMU, and then a couple of West Coast schools, Washington and Cal. So we'll see. I mean, rising player who, man, with his first foray into high school football, performed really well at Mississippi's highest classification, and now will play for U High here to close out his college career, his high school career before moving on and starting a college career. Will it be at LSU? We'll see. I don't know. He says he wants to beat his dad more than he wants to play for him. We'll obviously keep you updated on that as that story continues to progress. So Knox Kiffin, University High. Okay. It's After Further Review here on a Tuesday. Tuesday show is brought to you by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Musso in for Moscona. Scone will be back in the new year. Whatever the first Monday of the new year is, that January 5th, I believe. That's when you can expect.
It is January 5th.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Jordan, my calendar over there. That's when you can expect Scone back. Until then, you got me, and I'm fired up to be here and talk through all of this with you, as it's a very busy time for LSU athletics. We still got to get to a final thought on the Texas Bowl. Some Saints Titans to come as well. We have another now former LSU Tiger, I guess, but another LSU Tiger entering the transfer portal to get to start the 4 o'clock hour. But right now, let's go ahead and go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Well, it's official. Lenora Sellers will be back in Columbia for the 2026 football season. He announced on Monday in a social media video that he and South Carolina had agreed on a new deal. Team captain in 2025. Production took a little bit of a step back. 2,400 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, 8 picks. Just ran for 270 yards and the 5 scores. Lenora Sellers, you might remember, was the preseason first-team All-SEC quarterback.
The Auburn Tigers.
Boy, the Auburn secondary. Yikes. It is taking a lot of hits, and it just had another one. Second starting cornerback has entered the portal. This is Kayan Lee. He's expected to leave. His fellow starting cornerback, Jay Crawford, announced last week, and both backup cornerbacks for Auburn have also announced that they're departing. Lee flipped from Ohio State late in the cycle, made an immediate impact through 3 seasons, 81 tackles, 17 PBUs, and 3 interceptions. He is off to the portal with 1 year of eligibility remaining. Auburn also losing senior linebacker Robert Woodard to the portal, 67 tackles in his senior season at Auburn.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
Oklahoma offensive lineman Jacob Sexton is entering the transfer portal. He announced that via social media as well. 6'6", 330 pounds, will transfer as a senior. He'll have 1 season of eligibility remaining. Oklahoma native who made an instant impact as a true freshman, playing in 10 games. Over his first 3 seasons, saw time in 25 games with 12 starts at left tackle, right tackle, left guard. Very experienced, but an injury in his junior season ended that prematurely, and then injuries also limited to just 1 game in 2025, so he will seek a new destination in the transfer portal.
Texas A&M!
Texas A&M wide receiver Casey Concepcion declares for the 2026 NFL Draft. He will forego the final year of eligibility. Hayes Fawcett from On3 first to report that news. Shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. He went through senior day festivities at Texas A&M, but boy, he made quite the impact in his 1 year. Consensus All-American, won the Paul Hornung Award, first team All-SEC as a receiver, all-purpose player, and punt returner. Overall, 919 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns, 75 yards rushing in a score, and averaged 18 yards per punt return. Casey Concepcion to the NFL Draft.
The Texas Longhorns.
Texas junior cornerback Malik Muhammad has declared for the NFL Draft and will forego his senior season. He announced that on Instagram. 41 games played in 3 years with 29 starts. Finished 2025 with 30 tackles, 2 interceptions, 6 PBUs. That will be his last season on the 40 acres as he heads to the NFL.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
And Georgia Athletic Director Josh Brooks has received a raise and a contract extension on Monday afternoon. Georgia's Athletic Association's Executive Committee unanimously approved the raise and the extension. It adds an additional year to Brooks' contract. He'll now be in Athens through 2031. The raise comes with a base salary increase of $125,000 per year, but with the incentives and the yearly compensation moves from $1.5 million to $1.75 million in total. Well, it's been quite the run. In total, Georgia athletic teams have won 7 national championships during Josh Brooks' tenure. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. As we continue on here on After Further Review on a Tuesday, Jordan, do me a favor. Get me a live read ready over there. I'm going to toss to one here real quick momentarily.
Gotcha.
While Jordan does that, we will kind of throw out a little bit of a tease. Ross Jackson, he'll be here at 4:15. I want to get Ross's take on a lot of different things. Saints in general. Kellen Moore met with the media today with high notes out of that press conference. Also, a brief look ahead for Saints-Titans. This is our last chance to really preview that game. So Ross will be here at 4:15. Kick that around with us. Jordan, the live read.
Brought to you by Evamore. Drink Evamore, EVAMOR, evamore.com, evamore.com. For elite athletes, for someone who just wants a healthier lifestyle. Maybe you're a parent, you want a healthier option for your children. Evamore is a great option. I would highly encourage you, bottom line, if you're drinking tap water, don't. Bare minimum, filter your tap water. But the best option is Evamore. This is natural artesian water. It's underground aquifers on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain, right there in Covington. They dug a well into that aquifer, and I mean, it's literally thousands of years in the making. That's why they call it Mother Nature's masterpiece. That's what they're pulling out of the ground. The only filtration is take like the sediment from the ground out of the water, and it goes right into the bottle. So it never touches air until you uncap it, take that first delicious sip. Learn more where you can buy it, great retailers or online, EVAMOR, evamore.com.
All right, we're going to grab a break, come back on the other side. We'll close out hour number 1 here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. The LSU men's basketball team, well, it wasn't without trial, but they did beat Prairie View A&M in the PMAC on Monday night. I have a couple thoughts on that game. We'll close out hour number 1 with those next here on AFR.
After Further Review.
Love telling you about our friends over at Duplessis Builders because they're going to build you a beautiful pool, build you a beautiful outdoor kitchen. They'll give you a 10-year workmanship warranty on their pool builds when the industry standard is 1. Let me say that slowly so you understand. Most pool builders, when they build your pool, they give you a 1-year warranty on their work. 1 year. Duplessis gives you a 10-year workmanship warranty because Derek is an engineer by trade. They take the time to do it right as they go through the process of the pool build. So they're building you something that is going to last, something beautiful that's going to last. You want to know why Duplessis Builders was named a top 50 pool builder in America by Pool & Spa Magazine? Meet with them one time, you'll get it. DuplessisBuilders.net. That beautiful pool, that outdoor kitchen, they can do it all for you. DuplessisBuilders.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
With all the delicious chicken finger options, it was an impossible decision.
How about a box combo? Good. Now what can I get for you?
No, I want a Caniac combo with extra cane sauce, no slaw, 2 extra toast, and a half sweet tea, half lemonade.
Celebrate the holidays with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Remind you about Rouse's, Rouse's.com, 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 the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. What do you need for Christmas? Need wine? They got it. Bourbon, beer, got it. Drinks for the kiddos, got it. Turkey, ham, brisket, whatever type of meat, whatever protein you're going to be throwing on the grill, cooking in the oven, they got it. Want to let someone else handle it? Rouse's can help you. All your sides, party platters, trays, desserts, Rouse's. Whatever you need, Rouse's.com is the website where you can go hit the weekly ad tab, see all the savings that they have right now. So if you're prepping for that holiday get-together for Christmas Eve dinner, maybe Christmas Day, having the family over, you can go to Rouse's and save and, of course, get the best selection and the best quality, Rouse's.com. With 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Well, what an eventful night in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center on Monday with LSU and Prairie View A&M. My goodness. Not how I certainly expected that game to go. I sat here yesterday and gave you just a brief thumbnail on it. Said, LSU's going to dominate. They're going to win this game handily because they should. Prairie View had one Division I win. We ran through them yesterday, their wins. One of them was like the College of Biblical Studies or something like that they had beaten. I mean, it was a team with a net ranking in the 300s coming into the game last night. Out of the SWAC, just a team that LSU has a decided advantage over in every single way as a program, as a current team this year. And those games normally go a certain way, and boy, you expected it to. And Boy, did it not. LSU, first of all, they got the win, and that's what the most important thing is, 104-90. LSU could not have ever afforded that loss. It could have been incredibly damaging to their NCAA tournament hopes, even, yes, here in December, because that would have been a quad 4 loss and a bad quad 4 loss. And LSU, if they're going to make the NCAA tournament, they're going to be a bubble team. Like, if you're going to be a 2 or a 3 seed, you can withstand something like that. You're probably not really going to be a 2 or a 3 seed if you have that, but you understand. It might ding you a little bit, but you're still going to be safely in. If you're coming off of the bubble, you cannot have a quad 4 loss to a team whose net ranking right now sits at 290 after they played you. It would have been the worst loss in the Matt McMahon era. I don't really think that's debatable, but they avoided it. And big credit to LSU. Credit to Prairie View as well. They came out, man, and they shot lights out. They shot 67% in the first half, 77% from 3, and they were led by a Baton Rouge native in Terrion Joseph, 34 points. He was 5 of 9 from 3. He made 5 of his first 6. Clanked one in the second, made his first attempt in the second half, and then went cold. And LSU continued to drive the basketball, get to the foul line, because they were bigger, stronger, and faster. And ultimately that wins out, and it did. LSU set a program record for made free throws, 43 of them in the ball game, and it was extremely necessary because that was where LSU was really able to exploit the advantage. Look, you could say, yes, teams are going to come out and shoot on fire, and that's certainly true. But, man, this is, again, where you've seen LSU early in a basketball game really struggle to defend the three-point line. It happened against Texas Tech. And it dug you so deep of a hole that you could just never really climb out of. Now, they also were able to shut down DJ Thomas. The other interesting part is LSU made their run in this game really without DJ Thomas. Jalen Reese was primarily running the point there for LSU when they made their run and climbed back in it. But credit to Prairie View. They played a great first half, had a 7-point lead on LSU actually at halftime. So when we say it got hairy, it got hairy. I understand many of you probably weren't watching because you probably thought, well, what I thought. Well, we all thought LSU's going to go out there and win by 40. LSU was a 30-point favorite in this game. Ultimately, they win it by 14, and order was restored in the second half. LSU won the second half by 19 points, which is more of what you expect. And again, in large part due to being able to get to the foul line as much as they did in the ball game. LSU shot 47%. I mean, LSU had no problem scoring. They scored 104 points, 50 in both halves. So, I mean, they kept pace there. It's just the defense. That's the one thing you really look at and you go, okay, you're going to have to work that out a little bit before you hit conference play. Speaking of which, LSU, where do they stand right now? Well, it's encouraging because, look, I'll tell you right now, I have been asking all year for a reason to look at this LSU team, watch them, and seriously consider them a tournament team. And it's been hard because, yes, I think they are much better from a roster standpoint than they were a year ago. Like, they are much more talented. I can see that. But I've seen you play two teams really with a pulse. You went 1-1, and one of them wasn't competitive. Now, the other one really wasn't very competitive, and you won that one. That's great. But I've also seen you slip up a few times here, against Prairie View. You played a sloppy first half against Alcorn, things of that nature. You gave up, you've given up plenty of points. But if you look at LSU from a resume standpoint right now, they're 11-1. They sit at number 41 in the net. Now, 10 of their 11 wins are against the Quad 3 and the Quad 4. You have the one Quad 1 win, and that's SMU. But with one non-conference game left, you sit at number 41 in the net, which is a great place to be. You're not really going to budge anywhere from that by playing Southern Miss up or down, really. And then you'll get into conference play, and your first conference opportunity is at Texas A&M. There is bracketology out right now because Joe Lunardi's a sicko, and he's doing bracketology in November and December. But as of now, Lunardi has LSU in the tournament as the 9 seed, as a 9 seed, not the 9 seed, as a 9 seed currently. That's right before conference play starts. That won't change unless you lose to Southern Miss. But we're expecting LSU to win that game, and nothing will change there, and you will head into conference play as one of the teams in the field. And that's a great place to be if you're like me. It shows me something. If you're like me, who's looking for a reason to say, okay, this is a tournament team, and that I feel confident in their ability to get there. We will see. LSU and Southern Miss to close out the non-conference slate here in a few days in the Maravich Center. All right, that about does it for hour one. We'll grab a break, come back on the other side. Another Tigers into the portal. We'll tell you who next.
After further review.
AFR is brought to you by Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, commercial or residential. As a matter of fact, Parish Restoration, I love the process, by the way. If you go to the website at parishrestoration.com, you can see videos of their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. So you see exactly what it looks like. Very cool. But they have fogged, over at Parish Restoration, they fogged one of the largest buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. So it doesn't matter if it's your office building, your church, whatever it may be, school, or your home. They can even fog your car. Maybe your car has a weird odor, musty smell. Maybe you bought a used car from a smoker and you can't get that smoky smell out. This will do it. They'll come while you're at work, fog it. By the time you're done with work for the day, boom, you're back in a clean smelling, fresh smelling vehicle. It's Parish Restoration. Learn more at parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Do business with someone you know. Parishrestoration.com.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
With all the delicious chicken finger options, it was an impossible decision.
How about a box combo? Good. Now what can I get for you?
No, I want a Caniac combo with extra cane sauce, no slaw, 2 extra toast, and a half sweet tea, half lemonade.
Celebrate the holidays with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
2 after further review here on a Tuesday, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Musso in for Moscona. Scone will be back in the new year. Jordan Kitchens, Taylor Sharp along for the ride. We're glad to have you along for the ride as well as we get set to send you into the Christmas holiday. If you're already in your Christmas holiday, well, hope you're having a very Merry Christmas and eventually a Happy New Year. But we appreciate you spending some of that time with us here today as we just have a bunch to cover. Ross Jackson will be with us here in about 14 or so minutes. We have Chris Marler in the 5 o'clock hour as well. Still got to get you a final thought on the Texas Bowl, a final thought on Saints Titans, and Jimmy Ott obviously will be here for Otterlocks. Some good games, bowl games going on right now as well as tonight and obviously throughout the weekend into the weekend. The Saturday slate is actually fantastic for bowl games. So we're going to get into all of that here over the course of the remainder of the show. Another day, another LSU Tiger into the transfer portal. Right before we came on air here today, so probably around like 2:50 or so is when I saw the news. Happened more around 2:30ish or whatnot. Cohen Eccles, offensive lineman for LSU, announced that he will enter the transfer portal. Cohen Eccles, he was, if you remember, man, a consensus 4-star recruit in the class of 2024. LSU actually flipped him from Texas A&M along with Weston Davis in that class. Eccles was the 14th best interior lineman and got a chance to really play a ton so far at LSU through three seasons, parts of 3 seasons. One of them those was a red shirt, but in 2024 he played 5 games. One of those was the Texas Bowl against Baylor, so he was able to preserve his red shirt there. And then he appeared in all 12 games this season for LSU with 7 starts. The majority of his stats came at left guard, although he did have some time at right guard, specifically in the game against Southeastern. This is one that makes sense for a reason that I'll get into, but I also think it's one that does sting a little bit. Cohen Eccles, he was one of LSU's better pass blockers, where he favored a little bit more was in the run blocking game, and that kind of drug his total PFF grade down a little bit on the season. I mean, he graded out near a 70 in pass block throughout this season. What was down around 50 when it came to a run block, that averaged out to about a 57 or whatnot for his overall grade. So not one of your highest graded offensive linemen. Really had a nice game against Texas A&M. Per Pro Football Focus, that was his best game of the season. Was that one against the Aggies. I said this makes a little bit of sense, and here's why I say that. I like Cohen Eccles. I think he has a lot of room to still grow and develop, and I would love to see what Eric Walford can do with some of the holdovers on this LSU offensive line. Because I don't really think it's a void of talent. I think what LSU lacked in I don't mean this as a slight. I think what LSU lacked in the talent that they have at offensive line is plug and play. You don't have Will Campbell. And again, that's not a shot at anybody. Will Campbell's one of the best offensive linemen in the history of LSU's program and was the 4th overall pick in the draft. Right? You don't really have that Emory Jones type guy. It took Carius Kern a little bit of time to even get on the field. Now, when he did, he looked like he could be the plug and play guy. It's taken Weston Davis time to develop, Tyree Adams time to develop, Cohen Eccles time to develop. So that's where I look at this and I go, that's why this stings a little bit, because I do like the talent there. And again, 7 starts this season for LSU, and some of that's due to injuries and whatnot to certain guys that forced him into that role. But I would have loved to have seen him get a little bit more time. Now with a new coach in there, develop in a new system and things of that nature, and just see if it potentially plays out. But here's why I look at this and I go, okay, it makes sense. Because the turnover at offensive line is far from over for LSU. Like, first and foremost, that's just a fact. The offensive line, I could say all I want about how I like the talent there and would like to see them continue to develop in a new system. The fact is, the offensive line was LSU's weakest position group in 2025. You weren't good there. it is really what hampered your offense all season long. That's the main culprit. So the turnover at that position group is not done. Right now, you have Cohen Eccles and Karius Kern in the transfer portal. You could see more guys enter the portal because one thing's for certain, you're bringing in a bunch of guys from the portal on that position. It's something that you really should have done in the last portal cycle. And then we might, instead of talking about Cohen Eccles entering the transfer portal, we might be talking about LSU preparing for a college football quarterfinal in a bowl game somewhere. But I digress. The turnover at that position is far from done. Now, when you look at where the group stands right now with Kern and Eccles into the portal, and by the way, it is widely expected that Karius Kern is going to play in the bowl game. That was Karius Kern, yes, but I meant Cohen Eccles, excuse me. Cohen Eccles will play in the bowl game. That was, what we thought going into this, and obviously, now with his news of entering the portal, you don't expect that to change. I mean, he's been part of the practices and all of that. So you'll get to see one more game. That could serve as an audition, potentially, for him. If you look at this and go, oh, okay, if you're Lane Kiffin, and wait a minute, maybe we want that guy to come back. Maybe we see if we can get him out of the transfer portal and back to LSU. And I just lost my spot on here. I apologize. Give me 1 second. Oh, what are you going to do? I'm trying to pull up where I had okay. I apologize. This is just ridiculous. Taylor Jordan, fill for me, please. Somebody fill for me.
You do still have a lot of guys out there. Me and you were talking about it a little bit before the break. I mean, Braylon Moore, if he does decide to come back, which if Braylon Moore's coming back, LSU is going to want him back. There's no question about that. Paul Mabinga, who, look, I get it. People, Moose, you and I were talking about it earlier. People still crap on Mabinga because he was thrown in there in the fire as a freshman, and it was iffy. He actually did some nice things last year, especially in run blocking. He was one of your better run blockers, like him and Josh Thompson the first 4 games of the year. By far your highest graded guy. Solomon Thomas, people forget he's even on the team.
He was hurt, yeah.
He's a former 5-star.
He was hurt all year.
They loved coming in. Bo Bordelon, Brett Bordelon, they still have a chance to come back. Tyree Adams, Weston Davis, Ori Williams.
That's who I was going to bring up.
Really, really well at the end of the year. Like, you have bodies there. It's just you got to get them experience and get them coached up.
That's what you have to do. But even in that, so I mean, you have plenty of bodies. That wasn't the problem a year ago. The problem was the execution, the performances unit, the coaching of that unit, those things. LSU, when I look at this, they will be fine from a skill position standpoint. Like, you have skilled players that can still return. They're very inexperienced, but you can bring them back, and they're talented and deep. You brought in a great skill class in the recruiting in the class of 2026 for the cycle. Where LSU has to address is the offensive line, and I just think you end up with some casualties there, because what LSU needs, if they are going to compete for a spot in the college football playoff in 2026, Lane Kiffin's first year, which is the goal, you've got to go out and get plug-and-play guys on the offensive line, like you did with the Braylon Moore, like you did with the Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson's he's out of eligibility. He's not going to even play in the bowl game, right? Kern's in the portal. Now Cohen Eccles is in the portal. So you're right. You are left with those guys, Tyree Adams, who I thought played really well.
DJ Chester is still on this roster.
Bulk of the season. DJ Chester is still on this roster. Paul Mabinga, you mentioned the Bordelon brothers as well. Ori Williams, who really, he's got great size, and I thought when he got his opportunity down the stretch, had some nice moments. Your depth there isn't the problem. The thing with the offensive line is the evaluation that has to take forward. So I look at this and I go, okay, Kern, Eccles, the turnover at that position and that group, it's far from over. Whether it be going in and definitely coming in for LSU here in this offseason. That's just the way it goes. But I will say, LSU so far, from what they've had leave, they're in a pretty good spot. It's far from over, and there certainly will be more names, and maybe even some bigger names into the transfer portal. But, I mean, I think you look at this right now and you go, okay, the two biggest are the offensive linemen, Karius Kern and Cohen Eccles, that have entered the transfer portal so far. So the cupboard is not bare at LSU, but the turnover is not done. I think that's the way I'll kind of say it and just leave it at that. Sorry, the laptop malfunction there kind of just derailed the entire segment. But we'll press on. We're going to grab a break. It's a Tuesday AFR presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Ross Jackson, LouisianaSports.net, and Locked On Saints. He joins us next here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Glow Resources. If you are a business owner, if you're an HR manager, a VP, an ops manager, if you're the person in charge of hiring at your job, at your place of business, and you're having trouble finding the right people, you need Glow Resources. Now, I want to remind you, Glow Resources, they're exceptional when it comes to skilled blue-collar workers and also white-collar divisions. Remember, Glow Resources has a full professional placement division. So we're talking about office administrators, executive-level assistants, assistant controllers, plant managers, scheduling assistants, basically any type of office job. Accounting, HR, marketing, managerial, supervisor roles. If you're having trouble finding those people and sometimes hard to fill roles, Glow Resources specialize. They recruit nationwide. For example, they had a Baton Rouge company that was looking for an engineer. They found the employee in Florida to work the job in California. It's Glow Resources. Check them out online today. glowresources.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
This menu is a masterpiece, delivers every time.
This is the worst party ever. Raisin Cane's!
Let's go!
The party is saved!
Peter, Mr. Billingsley.
Celebrate the holidays with Raisin Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. Whole team on wild.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, rolling along here, Tuesday edition of AFR, last show for us before the Christmas break. So it's our last chance to talk New Orleans Saints and their upcoming game against the Tennessee Titans. Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints podcast, also writer extraordinaire over at LouisianaSports.net. You can get him on Twitter, X, at Ross Jackson Nola. Ross, how are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for making the time. Okay, let's start here. Can you just give us a overview of what the week is like for the New Orleans Saints? I mean, look, Tuesday's normally the off day in the NFL. Kellen Moore met with reporters today and all that. What is their week like around the Christmas holiday?
Yeah, so basically what they've done is that they've made Wednesday, they've just took Wednesday and Thursday and then bumped it up a day. So Friday will still be Friday, Tuesday is Wednesday, and Wednesday is Thursday, which probably makes no sense. But so they actually held their first practice today, but the injury report days stay the same. So fans and all will still see the same injury reports Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but they'll have Thursday off for Christmas Day, and then they just kind of moved everything up before that a day in advance.
That was going to be my next question, was actually availability and things of that nature. But, I mean, an availability report from practice, I assume y'all were out there?
Yep, yeah, I'm actually just now starting to work my way out of the facility. I never say leave because I don't feel like you ever actually leave this place. You just kind of take a little break, you know?
It's a part of you for sure. Okay, so high points then from Kellen Moore's media availability here today as they start practice week.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we kind of harped on this week with him was just kind of talking about kind of where things are right now for him and Tyler Shuck in terms of building their connection, building the orchestration of the offense, and then simultaneously really the contributions of the rookie class. This rookie class has been probably the team's best since 2017. Which, of course, was an incredible class that included the offensive and defensive rookies of the year that year. So very hard to beat that class in terms of accolades. You look at all the contract money that those guys have picked up, and, of course, the only one of those players remaining on the roster right now for New Orleans is Alvin Kamara. And so looking at this 2025 class, it does really it absolutely represents the new era for New Orleans. A 9-player draft class, and 5 or 6 of them are playing really important roles. 4 of them are starters. 5 of them have been starters, if you include rookie running back Devin Neal, who, of course, is out for the rest of the season with a hamstring injury. And then you have guys like Danny Stutzman, who continue to rotate in, Maliki Matzaval, who continues to get action as well. And so the contributions of this rookie class have been really, really unique. And they kind of represent, led off, of course, with guys like Tyler Shuck and Kelvin Banks Jr. as the future of this team and kind of its next era.
Speaking of the future of the team, and I want to get a thought on the Titans game and all that a little bit towards the end. Speaking of the future, it was a very emotional day in the Superdome on Sunday, specifically with Cam Jordan and Taysom Hill. And you can throw Demario Davis in there as well. They're all 3, Ross, unrestricted free agents, all their contracts void for 2026. And Cam said it best. He said, I've never not had a contract. I mean, it's the most uncertainty around him there is. What do you think the appetite is right now for the Saints to potentially bring those guys back, and how can they make that work?
Yeah, I do think that there is purpose or reason to want some of, if not all, of those guys back in some capacity next season. It's just going to come down to what the contract terms are. You're probably starting to turn the page or pass the baton or, pass the mantle, or whatever cliche you want to use. You're probably passing things on eventually here. And so you have to build out a contract that specifically allows for that, so you're not shoehorning yourself into a situation. But, you look at how incredibly productive Demario Davis has been yet again. He's been a big-time leader for this team, an emotional leader. He's been sort of the ambassador to Paris for this team. So if they're trying to go to Paris next year, that in and of itself kind of lends to the idea of potentially keeping Demario Davis around and allowing him to pay that off. And altogether, he has still been an excellent player for the team. Cam Jordan's got 8.5 sacks. Taysom Hill just topped the 1,000 mark, first player in Super Bowl history or since in the Super Bowl era to top 1,000 yards, rushing, receiving, passing. Like there's value for all of these guys we brought in, and those are the tangibles. The intangibles come with the leadership, the mentorship, all those other pieces. So I do think that there would be an appetite for New Orleans to bring those guys back, but the biggest question mark is going to be, can you create the contract that will allow that to happen? Cam Jordan might not have a year on his contract beyond here or money on his contract going into 2026, but he still counts against the same salary cap. And so the potential of being able to create an extension or a re-signing that ends up, pushing some of that money a little bit further or ends up chewing into some of that money, like there are these little things that you can start to work out to where it could actually be beneficial for the team if they do the contracts right. The big thing is not to get overly sentimental and to understand sort of the business side of this. I'm talking about from the team perspective, who has a habit of getting overly sentimental sometimes when it comes to these contracts, and really instead going, money forward in terms of these deals and making sure that the financials work as opposed to just leaning in on the sentimentalization of what those players bring to the team.
All right, let's turn the page back to this team and what's ahead, because, look, they've won 3 games for the first time since 2022 right now. I mean, they're on a great run. Tyler Shuck is ascending up Rookie of the Year boards. The last time we had you on was last week, Ross, and we talked about the improvement of the offense in the red zone. I want to ask you about the other side of the ball, because Brandon Staley's defense in the last 7 – I mean, they've allowed 15 points per game in the last 7. They've been awesome. The pass rush really ticked up. And as you mentioned earlier, I mean, Jonas Sanker just continues to improve, talking about the young players in the draft class. But, I mean, what they're getting really, and you got Justin Reed back, what they're getting from all levels of this defense, what do you think has really led to the turnaround? Because they weren't good early in the season, Ross. Like, this was a bad defense earlier in the year, and now they're among the NFL's best.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is that they got all of their pieces, right? Not having Chase Young for those first 5 games, I think it was, because it was New England was his first game. And so for those first 5 games it's a pretty big piece of your defense to be missing, because he's your most consistent pass rusher. He's not your most productive right now, with Cam having 8.5 sacks versus him having 7 sacks, but he has been productive beyond that in terms of somebody helping as a run stopper, affecting the ball, when he gets to the quarterback. I think all of that factors into kind of why this team has been able to kind of push things forward. I also think it just takes time to learn a new system. We're talking about a team that has been an even or maybe multiple front, but lived in an even front look for most of their time with Dennis Allen, who's been around kind of pioneering this defense since 2016, 2017. And now all of a sudden you've changed everything to stand-up pass rushers, wide 9 pass rusher distribution, and, a 3-4 odd front. And so, that takes time for everything to settle in. And boy, when it settled in, it sure settled in. And I think when you look at the young players, that's part of the advantage for New Orleans. They have young contributing pass rushers. Let's not forget that Chase Young's only 26 years old, or 26 to 27 years old. You have a second-round corner starting on one side. You have a rookie corner starting on the other. You have a young safety. You have a versatile safety and a veteran guy like Justin Reed, as you mentioned, and then you have all these other pieces that are fitting in. Brian Brzee, I know he's dealing with injury right now, but he's been a big part of the team as well. And so I think all of that just kind of started to mesh and come together. And then once the system started to set in, Brandon Staley then is able to go, okay, now how do I utilize these unique skill sets within the system? Because the system's working, so now that we learned how to walk, let's learn how to run. And I think that that's what you're starting to see, is that this defense is off and running all of a sudden. And I think a really good example of that was Isaiah Stallberg's back last week. Mm-hmm. They take Carl Granderson. They rush him on that wide 9 formation. They pull that tackle out. DeMario Davis takes off the guard, and there's just this wide open gap for Isaiah Stallberg, who's lined up at corner effectively to shoot that gap and be able to get to the quarterback and Brady Cook. And it's just those little things, right? Using the athleticism, using the threat of DeMario Davis, using the alignment with Carl Granderson to your benefit to create these big plays. That's what we're starting to see them settle into.
Talking with Ross Jackson, LouisianaSports.net, Locked On Saints podcast on Twitter, X at Ross Jackson Nola. A couple more for you, Ross, and I'll let you go. Very much appreciate your time. What did you make of the game Kellen Moore called on Sunday? Because I'll tell you, I thought it was one of his best to watch him manipulate the offense to the players he had available, with no Devon Vele, with no Alvin Kamara, no Devin Neal, and they got there, put up 29 points and 412 yards. I thought it was pretty masterful, actually, from an execution and game calling standpoint.
Yeah, I thought that he did an excellent job throughout that game, and especially, as you highlighted, with what wasn't available to him on the field. And so putting those players in position to succeed, that's always been a big part of what it is that Kellen Moore has highlighted, right? The pre-snap operation on offense and how important it is to be able to match up, change, make adjustments, checks, things like that based upon what the defense is showing you. And then being able to put players in position to make plays, to operate to their strengths. And I think we saw examples of each of that all throughout this matchup. One great example was Taysom Hill's touchdown to Chris Olave. Taysom Hill takes the snap, that safety over the middle of the field. He's kind of in this cover zero look. He could either, get a little bit of depth to try to take away that post right over the middle of the field, or he has to be a little bit at least worried about what it is that Taysom Hill's going to do with the ball in his hands, because he's a threat as a QB power guy, sure, but he'd be a threat as a QB draw on that play as well. And so that safety gets frozen, caught flat-footed. Chris Olave's got 4.3 speed. He gets over the top. So you're utilizing all these strengths of these players to create those moments. And it's all happening in less than 2.5 seconds. And I think that that's the Kellen Moore offense that we didn't see early on in the season, if we're being honest, that we're starting to see now over the course of these past few weeks that really start to build the identity. They're balanced in terms of how they like to, in terms of the distribution of run versus pass, although we didn't see that against the Jets when they threw 50 times, if you include Taysom, in that game. And so I think those are the things that you're seeing. And in addition to that, just the adjustments from one week to the next week, not a lot of repeated mistakes. You'd like to see, there's still some growth, right? You'd like to see more success on scripted plays. It's a curious thing that they don't have a lot of success in that area of the game. And then, of course, finishing off those long 10-plus play drives with touchdowns rather than field goals. But, hey, things are clearly headed in the right direction for that Saints offense, and especially with Tyler Shuck calling the shot.
All right, Ross, two more for you, both on the game coming up against the Titans. Which players, or if any, who are injured, is it reasonable to expect could return Sunday in Nashville?
I'd watch for maybe Awesome Richards to potentially make his way back. He was out on the field today. He wasn't participating, but he was observing. We didn't see Alvin Kamara. We didn't see Cesar Ruiz. We didn't see Brian Brzee or Foster Moreau. We basically already know Brzee and Moreau probably not playing this weekend, according to based on some of the things that Kellen Moore said in his Monday presser. So really, out of all those guys, Awesome feels like the guy that could potentially either have a role or step back in at right guard. But I think they like what they've seen from William Sherman there so far. So maybe if he's healthy, Awesome Richards just kind of has a role on offense as a jumbo guy or as an emergency guy. But that might really be it. I mean, more than likely, we're going to see a very similar personnel this week that we saw last week against the Jets.
All right, last one for you. If the Saints get win number 4 in a row against the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, what does it look like?
Yeah, I think, first of all, that would be their first 4-game win streak since 2020 with Drew Brees. So that's a big gap between now and then. So that would be a great thing for them to get, especially with Tyler Shuck and the sort of the excitement that's already built up there. I think really what this comes down to is if the Saints can score points and get ahead early, like get a bit of a fast start, that's the phrase I was looking for, couldn't find it, then I think that the defense, as we highlighted, can do enough to limit what Tennessee can do. Cam Ward deserved to be the number 1 overall selection. He's a fantastic young quarterback. I can't wait to see how he grows in the league, but right now doesn't have a lot of weapons. Chika Okonkwo, Alec Ayumanner, DK that's out there as well. Like, they have some good weapons there, but I think the biggest thing that you're looking at is from this game is create an early deficit and then let your defense hold on to it. And I think that that's what a win looks like for them. You don't want to get into a shootout because then they become a little bit unpredictable. But if the defense is able to keep the points off the board and the offense can start early, they should be able to cruise in Tennessee.
Man, it feels good right now around the New Orleans Saints. I don't know earlier in the season if any of us thought we'd kind of get to this point, but they've won 3 in a row. They've got a chance to win another one here against the Tennessee Titans and continue to build for the future. And that's certainly what they're doing, which it feels good. It feels good around the Saints right now. Ross, we appreciate the time as always, man. Y'all get him on Twitter, X, at Ross Jackson Nola. Read his stuff at LouisianaSports.net. I mean, it's free. Why wouldn't you? And also subscribe to the Locked On Saints podcast. You're the best, man. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Back at you, man. Merry Christmas. Thanks for having me on. You take care. Stay safe. Talk to you here soon.
Absolutely. Again, that is Ross Jackson. We will grab a break, but before we do that, Matt's going to tell you about Supper Club.
We're brought to you by Supper Club. You can book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. One of the things about Supper Club that I love is if you want to go to Supper Club and be a baller, you can do it. You want to go to Supper Club and order a $5,000 bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, you can do it. You want to go have $400 shots of cognac, you can do it. You can have experiences at Supper Club that usually are reserved for Las Vegas and New York and Paris and Abu Dhabi. Like, that's here in Baton Rouge. But the thing you got to remember as well, if you want to go to Supper Club and have the best steak of your life and have a few appetizers, a dessert, bottle of wine, you can do it as affordably as any other restaurant in town. But the experience at Supper Club is unmatched. Introduced open seating at the bar, first come, first serve. So if you knock off of work, you want to head by Supper Club, you can walk in without a reservation, see if you can grab a bar stool or a table by the bar as well. Have a great dinner, maybe cocktail, close some business. Book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com.
All right, we're going to grab a break here. Come back on the other side. Reese Davis is trying to save bowl games. I'll tell you why even his proposition probably won't give you the desired effect. We'll do that next here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I love sharing 5-star Google reviews. Here's one from Ricky Gomez, who said Chris, his technician, was very professional and knowledgeable during the HVAC evaluation. He provided details and recommendations in a clear and concise manner. That's one of the things that always stands out. If you're having an issue with your AC or your heater, and River City's 1 Hour Air sends out a technician for an evaluation, they're going to explain your options to you. And that may sound simple, but none of it, I don't know anything about an HVAC, neither do you. Let's be honest. So whenever they go get up in your attic or they go look at your HVAC unit on the side of your house and they come talk to you, they're going to explain very clearly what's happening and your options to remedy it. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me. Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Always a pleasure to tell you about our friends at the Williamson Eye Center. Check them out online at williamsoneye.com. They've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. On the Baton Rouge General Campus, I mean, you turn off a Bluebonnet onto Picardy, you make that right. And then right there at the stop sign, the building on the right, the first 2 floors, that's the Williamson Eye Center. State-of-the-art dry eye center, and it's full service. Of course, they have their state-of-the-art surgery center there where you can have your LASIK or whatever surgical procedure you're having. But they have your standard annual eye exam as well at the Williamson Eye Center. Learn more at williamsoneye.com. The thing I tell you every day is take the advice that I was given and change your life. To give yourself the gift of sight is absolutely incredible. If you're someone like me who spent your life with contacts or glasses, there is a way to be done with it forever. williamsoneye.com. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson for that free consultation. 924-2020. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
All right. Reese Davis is just the latest to suggest something like this, but he's trying to save bowl season. And basically what he's proposing is paying the players for the bowl game. But the way he proposes it a little different than just, hey, they get a cut of the revenue. What Reese Davis is proposing, and he did this on the College Game Day podcast, is the model that the Players Era Festival has introduced into college basketball, which has been very, very successful for college basketball. So much so that the field is increasing from 18 to 32 teams next season for the Players Era Festival. And what happens there is they're playing for money. The winner gets prize money to divvy up amongst its student athletes, amongst its team, amongst the members of its team. You know, second place gets a little bit lower, third place gets lower than that. So what Reese Davis is suggesting here is do this for bowl games. Non-playoff bowls, or as he said, quote, just any bowl game. The Boca Raton Bowl was played today. Do this for the Boca Bowl, right? Where you get a corporate sponsorship if you're the bowl, and you promote it, and there's money, all of that involved, and the winner gets, you play for money. The winner, you play for prize money. The winner of the bowl game gets the higher of the prize money. The loser still gets something, but it's the lower end. And he's hopeful that obviously this would create intrigue around the bowl games, make the teams play harder in bowl games, obviously minimize opt-outs and things of that nature. And I'm here to tell you that while that sounds great in theory, and every time anyone's, anytime anyone has ever suggested this type of idea or just giving the players a cut of the bowl revenue, that always sounds great in theory. And look, this isn't something that's foreign to college football. In fact, it's going to happen next year in the Aflac kickoff game. You may remember Auburn and Baylor had originally scheduled a home and home. Auburn went to Waco this season, and the Baylor return trip was in 2026 to the Plains. That game has been moved to the Aflac kickoff game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, in part because Auburn student athletes now are going to have an opportunity for unique NIL opportunities in that game. This is a first in college football for a neutral site game. Auburn, they'll have opportunities through ticket sales and other, supporting events around the game, probably promotion and things of that, to make NIL. So it's not that this is completely foreign. Like, this is starting to happen. But it's just not, I don't want to say it's not going to work for bowl games. It's not going to deliver the desired result. And here are the reasons why, in my opinion. Number one, and Reese Davis says this in his quote, that the people who run these bowl games actually might not like this because they're going to make less money. And that's the whole reason bowl games existed in the first place, was money and to make money for the sponsors and the TV networks and things of that nature. That's number one. And Reese Davis is absolutely right in prefacing his idea with that. Furthermore, if what you're hoping for is eliminating opt-outs, it may work in certain instances, but let's say you still have a Mansour Delane. Or let's say you have an instance like Cam Ward a year ago, who's at Miami, who is projected to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft, but Miami's not in the playoff. That guy's still normally not going to play in the bowl game, regardless of the NIL compensation that he could get in prize money. Why? Because it's the same reason draft picks opt out of bowl games and started doing so before NIL in 2016 with Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette. It's the risk. You're a first-round pick. You stand to make a lot more money. Why go play in a game that doesn't matter? I hate to say that, but that doesn't really matter in terms of, winning things of significance and jeopardize your future in the NFL. You go start your career. I think that would still happen. Like, y'all, if LSU was getting some type of prize money to divvy up amongst, at least 80 scholarship players, that's the other reason this works so well in college basketball. You have a smaller roster there with players era in festival. Is he really going to put himself in a jeopardy, a guy who's dealt with injury already this year, in one more game when he stands to be a top 10 pick in the draft? No. No. Flatly no. That's not going to happen at the clip that many people would want it to. Also, how much money would you actually get? What are you looking at for the winners? $50,000 per player? I can't imagine it gets to $100K. Maybe for bigger bowls, maybe. But for a Texas Bowl? For a Boca Bowl? We know the people at the Pop-Tarts Bowl, they take care of, because it's the greatest bowl that's ever existed. It's the greatest bowl game that's ever existed. But is that money worth playing in a bowl game over your NFL future? For a lot of guys, I think that answer still remains no. And here's the other portion of this. If you're hoping to nix the portal aspect of guys entering and not playing in the bowl game, then the transfer portal window has to be moved again. It has to start completely after bowl season, after the college football playoff even. Because there are certain players who understand, hey, I'm going here to test the market. Look, take Sam Leavitt, for example. Sam Leavitt stands to potentially make $4 million in the transfer portal per a report earlier today. Arizona State, what bowl game is Arizona State playing in? Does anyone know right off the top of their head? I think they actually play Saturday.
I'd be lying if I told you.
The Sun Devils. The Sun Devils, I believe, play Saturday. And they are in... I lied. They don't play Saturday.
I'm about to say the Big 12 teams are Houston and BYU.
Arizona State is in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
Oh, that's a good one.
That sounds lit, man.
No, it's not.
Frosted Flakes?
No, it's not. Do you really think Sam Leavitt, who's dealt with a little bit of injury this year, has entered the portal and stands to make $4 million, would be like, I'm going to play in the bowl game anyway because maybe I can make $60K for winning the Tony the Tiger? No, you wouldn't do that. So you'd have to move the portal window again, and it'd have to match up with the calendar. There's too many issues to where this would not, I'm not going to say it wouldn't work. Some players would look at this as an opportunity and be like, absolutely. But others are going to want to get into the portal, start being able to talk with teams, things of that nature. And look, you can enter the portal and play in the bowl game. You're seeing LSU players do that. So sure, it could deliver that desired result maybe for you. But I think you're already seeing that a good bit in college football now with players, still playing in the game when they're going to enter the portal. But I don't think the money is going to be game-changing enough to really alter decisions from the top players who you want to play in this bowl game and play hard. I just don't see that. More often than not, the first-round pick, he's still going to opt out. The second-round pick, he might still opt out because there's just more money involved in his future at that point than getting a payout in prize money from the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. I like the idea. It's just not going to deliver the desired result that anybody wants it to. Bowl games are dying. That's the cold, hard truth now in college football. The other thing is, with playoff expansion, what impact does that have on bowl season? Do you incorporate more bowls into the playoff, or do those games move on to campus more? It's just a lot of uncertainty and unanswered questions around it, and it feels like bowl season will just continue to flounder. It's where we are. All right, we'll grab a break. We're going to come back on the other side. It's a Tuesday edition of AFR presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We'll grab a break, come back on the other side, and Taylor, Tigers in the Pros. That's next on AFR.
AFR.
We are counting down the minutes till Santa comes down the chimney. And if you have not yet secured that perfect gift for the hard-to-buy-for person on your list, I got a great option for you. Just get by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. They got so many options. I love telling you about their tuned wind chimes. You have someone on your list that loves to spend time in their outdoor spaces. Tuned wind chimes are a perfect option. Also, bird feeders, hummingbird feeders, the ever popular Clegg's gift card where they can choose what they want. Still a great selection of poinsettias grown here locally at their greenhouses. Beautiful in many different colors, maybe a citrus tree. So many options. You know where to go. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Ed sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Hi, this is Beth Tarina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique and that no 2 cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Love telling you about Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. That's Arco Power Systems. We talk about generators a lot in Louisiana, especially all along the Gulf Coast, where we're sort of in this storm belt right here in the Gulf Coast. Well, of course, a lot of people have home standby generators. When we talk about Arco Power Systems, these are not home standby generators. This is industrial generator power. This is for your business. I mean, just think about it. When the power goes out, be it a hurricane, an ice storm, snow like we had last year, power goes out. What do you do with your business? Well, being offline is not an option. That's why you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. Just look at all the locations. Baton Rouge, Bossier, Harvey, Lake Charles, Mandeville, Mobile, LaPorte, Texas, San Antonio, Little Rock, Houston, Dallas. They're everywhere. So if you're a business and you need standby power for your business, you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2 here on AFR Tuesday edition. Final show for us before the Christmas holiday. We're happy you're spending some of your Christmas holiday with us as well. We get set to send you in to that break. Taylor's going to do so right now. Close out the hour with Tigers in the Pros. Take it away.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Just one actual game note for you. Last night, the Detroit Pistons took down the Portland Trailblazers 110-102. It was former Tiger Duop Reith off the bench. 6 minutes. He did not record any points. He was 0 for 2, but a rebound, an assist, and a block for the former Tiger big man. As far as the NFL goes, Jamar Chase voted to his 5th career Pro Bowl. So don't worry, guys. Yeah, that's 5 years.
5 for 5, isn't it?
That's 5 for 5.
How about that?
We get to see Jamar play dodgeball and tug of war.
Love that.
I know that's appointment viewing for everyone.
So good, dude.
And Texans cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. named a Pro Bowl starter for the AFC as well. Back-to-back years for him as well. He had that 31-yard pick six that we talked about yesterday in Tigers with the Pros on Sunday for the Texans. He's been incredible this year. He played in all 15 games. He has 4 interceptions, 13 pass breakups on what is kind of unarguably at this point the best defense in the NFL. And just one more for today. Guys, Ben Simmons.
Yes. There we go.
Making a comeback.
Former SEC Player of the Year.
But not in the NBA. So last time he played was with the Clippers, 2024-2025. He had talked about wanting to come back and, make a NBA comeback, but he's put that on hold because he has purchased a controlling share in the South Florida Sales Angling Club as a member of the 16-team Sport Fishing Championship. So Ben Simmons, now an owner of a fishing team out in South Florida. Believe it or not, guys, he said it's a very niche sport. I'll say so.
I can only imagine.
Ben Simmons still not hitting threes out there on the boat, and now owning his own fishing team. No word on when he will be back, but Ben Simmons in the headlines for kind of a unique way there. As you mentioned, former SEC Player of the Year. Maybe he can get Fisherman of the Year in the South Florida Sales Angling Club.
You know, it's not something that I had on my 2025 bingo card, Ben Simmons moving from the NBA to professional fishing, but good on him, man. Seriously. We could make jokes and stuff, and I'm sure we will, and they'll be funny. But that's awesome, actually, for Ben, because the guy's made a lot of money so far in his career, and that's a good investment. I mean, it is a niche sport, but, if you can get a return on the investment, then go for it, man. And while you work your way back into the NBA, work your way back
Check out
into
the fish,
NBA.
Guys.
I mean, look at this. You're catching that. I mean, you're going to bring in some money off of that. I mean, that's a giant fish. What is that, a grouper?
Yeah.
Is that a bonita fish? Or bonita fish big?
Yeah, Musso, they're a trophy fish, so they're pretty big.
Thank you
Jordan,
very much.
what's this guy's deal?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It looks
for
like
that.
lunch.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to grab a break. That puts a button here on hour number 2. When we come back, we haven't really talked much about the Texas Bowl, so we'll do that. We'll give you a final thought on LSU and Houston. Still have Chris Mahler coming up and a final thought on Saints Titans. That's all next in hour number 3. Stick around.
AFR.
We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Again, you can log on to firstsouthland.com. We're nearing the end of the year. Maybe you're thinking about that tax write-off. You're buying timber property, recreational timber property could be a great opportunity for a tax strategy. Talk to your CPA to see if that's something that might make sense. Or maybe, right now you're in hunting season and you're tired of sharing that lease. This is a good time to call our friends over at First South Farm Credit to start that process toward owning your own land. It's First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. Land's a finite resource, y'all. It ain't never going down in value and they ain't making more of it. So you want to get your own. First South Farm Credit can help. firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
With all the delicious chicken finger options, it was an impossible decision.
How about a box combo? Good. Now what can I get for you?
No, I want a Caniac combo with extra cane sauce, no slaw, 2 extra toast, and a half sweet tea, half lemonade.
Celebrate the holidays with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Off and running, hour number 3 after further review here on a Tuesday, presented by your hometown John Deere dealer. That's Sunshine here in Louisiana. They have a lane train bonfire for the bonfires on the river coming up here Christmas Eve. It's pretty cool, actually. Anyway, Musso in for Moscona, Jordan Kitchens, Taylor Sharp, they're along for the ride. Glad you're along for the ride as well. 2 hours in the books and one more to go for us here this week before we take the rest of it off for the Christmas holiday. Obviously, we wish all of you a very happy, healthy, and safe Merry Christmas. And thank you for spending some of your Christmas holiday time if you're already on it with us, or making us a part of it as we send you off into it here in this final hour. Plenty to do. Chris Marlar, LouisianaSports.net. He's going to join us here in about 14 minutes or so. Marlar also hosts the Locked On Gamecocks podcast. I know he has some thoughts on Sterling Lucas taking the LSU job. We're going to kick some bowl season around with Marlar because this is really your first big weekend of bowl season starting Saturday. There's a pretty nice slate, a couple ranked matchups as well. And, of course, LSU plays Houston, so we'll do all that with Marlar here in about 14 minutes or so. Saints-Titans final thoughts and wrap it up with Otterlocks. But we'll start with final thought on the Kinder's Texas Bowl, LSU and Houston. Saturday night, 8:15 is your kickoff time there. Houston, a slight 2.5-point favorite in this game. They come into it 9-3. LSU comes into it 7-5, looking to close out Frank Wilson's time as the interim head coach and time at LSU in general with a win. LSU, they have some opt-outs, but they'll have a bulk of the roster together. Houston looks like they're going to have just about their full complement of players in this game, especially their top players. They are going to play against LSU, hence the Cougars being the favorite. I'll give you some keys to the game and things of that nature towards the end of the segment, but I think what most everybody is interested in is what can we learn about LSU in the future from this game? And that's really what bowl season has become. That's really what bowl games are now about, is the practices leading up to and auditions for guys maybe to have their spot on the team, move up in the coach's eyes, or put film out there for when they enter the transfer portal. And LSU's got plenty of those guys. So when you look at this and you say, all right, who is LSU going to have? Well, Garrett Nussmeier won't be in the game, right? On offense as well, Aaron Anderson, he has accepted his invite, he is declared for the NFL draft, so you're not going to have him in this game on the offensive side. Josh Thompson is not going to play in this game on the offensive side either. You flip over the defense, you'll have no Weeks brothers, West or Witt. I guess Zach could get some time, but no Witt, no West Weeks, no Jack Pyburn, no Mansour Delane, no AJ Halsey as well. So there are some opt-outs. So that opens the door for a lot of young guys to get time. I want to start really at the linebacker spot because LSU has recruited so well at linebacker the last few years that you didn't even take one in the 2026 cycle. And they love the guys that they have. With no West Weeks, with no Witt Weeks, you're going to see Devon Keys and Tylen Singleton get the start more than likely in the Texas Bowl and play the lion's share of those reps. And those are two guys that have played sparingly. Devon Keys more than Tylen Singleton. And there's been mixed returns, obviously, with a guy like Devon Keys so far. Man, he got thrust into things in 2024 late in the season and really acquitted himself quite nicely. Had some rougher moments here in 2025, notably against Vanderbilt. But it's a guy with a high upside and who has flashed so far at LSU. To really see him get another full game under his belt, excited to see that. Obviously, with Tylen Singleton, you just haven't seen it in the bulk that you obviously had with a guy like Devon Keys. So that's nice. But eventually, when those guys have to rotate out, one thing I'm excited about is who could potentially come in after them. How about getting Charles Ross some time? Charles Ross played in 10 games this year for LSU, but they're really high on him. A freshman linebacker like Jaden Breaker, who's played in 4. Well, now he can get in there. That a bowl game doesn't count towards your red shirt. His red shirt is preserved. Maybe even, as we mentioned just a few minutes ago, Zach Weeks potentially getting in there. You can really see the depth in what they love about that class that they've brought in, specifically last year's linebacker class going forward here at LSU. So that's one thing I'm really, really interested to see is the young linebackers that LSU can get into this game against Houston. In the secondary, it's much of the same. There'll be no Harold Perkins at the star position, so you'll see Jordan Gilbert go in there. You have not seen Jordan Gilbert play since Oklahoma, and before that, it was since Florida. He played the first 3 games of the year, preserved the red shirt, played the Oklahoma game to give him 4, and now the bowl game won't count. He performed really well against Clemson. That's the game he played his most snaps in, and it's the game he graded out highest in as well. He's got even more time to heal up from the injury from last year. I'm very intrigued to see what you get out of Jordan Gilbert in this game. With no A.J. Halsey, that's going to usher in Deshaun Spears. Deshaun Spears has played very, very well so far. Played very, very well so far this season and really in his LSU career in limited duty. You think he played 168 snaps. We talked about it a little bit on yesterday's shows. And in those 168 snaps, he graded out as LSU's second highest defender overall. He had great games against Florida and Alabama. So he is an ascending player, and you get him a full game now, at a safety spot. I love to see that. Same can be said for DJ Pickett, y'all, with no Mansour Delane. Like, you're going to get a full game of DJ Pickett, who was the highest graded freshman corner in the SEC. The fact that he was not up for some type of Freshman of the Year award is a joke, quite honestly. I mean, the guy infected the quarterback in sacks. He had multiple interceptions. I think it was only like a 30. I don't have the number in front of me, so I actually probably shouldn't do this. I might misspeak. But he had the lowest completion percentage against him of any freshman cornerback in the SEC this year. He was awesome, and you'll get to see him in a full game. So, man, that's great. And I mean, it'll be another game for Michael Van Buren and whatnot. So I really want to see those young guys, specifically on defense. When you flip to the offensive side, it's the O-line. And we talked about this briefly earlier in the show when we talked about Cohen Eccles entering the transfer portal. LSU's got bodies, and LSU has talent on the offensive line. And Eccles is going to play in the bowl game despite being in the portal, and so is Carius Kern. You'll have Braylon Moore out there, Tyree Adams, all of those guys, DJ Chester, Weston Davis, they're all playing in this bowl game. And if you're talking about guys who need to go out there and play hard, and this can serve as an audition for you, either whether it be for LSU or for your next destination in the transfer portal, look no further than the offensive line for that group. So I really, really want to see how they show out. That was something we wanted to see in the Texas Bowl a year ago against Baylor, and they really acquitted themselves quite nicely in that game. They do that again. It's, first of all, go a long way to their future at LSU and their development with new coach Eric Wolford, but it could also go a long way to LSU winning this football game. Because when you look at that, LSU's offense is what you're staring at as a big part of the equation in this game against Houston. So what does it look like? I said I'd give you some keys. I'm going to start on defense. Because when you look at Houston, they are a team that wants to run the ball and control the clock. That's what they've done best this year. They don't score a bunch of touchdowns. They haven't been the best red zone team. They're kind of middle of the pack in red zone touchdown percentage because the field shrinks on them and they haven't actually really been able to run the ball down there very well, which is odd. But that's why their production in the red zone has shrunk down in terms of touchdowns. But they want to run the ball and control the clock. For reference, they have run for 2,100 yards this year. They have thrown for just over 2,500. It's what they want to do. Connor Wegman is their quarterback from Texas A&M. We kind of know how that goes. He has been better at Houston, I think, for a majority of reasons. One, the run game has certainly helped him. Two, he's now playing Big 12 defenses week in and week out instead of SEC defenses. Well, now you step back into the SEC if you're Connor Wegman. And here's the thing. LSU's secondary, I think, will have success in this game. DeMarcus Cooley's going to play in the game. You got P.J. Woodland, as we mentioned, DJ Pickett, Deshaun Spears. You'll have Jordan Gilbert out there. Like, you have capable guys in the LSU secondary. I still think they will be able to lock down two really good receiving options for Houston. And Amir Thomas, who is 100 and some odd yards. He is 104 yards shy of 1,000 on the season. And then Tanner Koziel is arguably the best tight end in college football, at least statistically. He led FBS tight ends in receptions this year. He's been awesome. He's going to the Senior Bowl. That's who the LSU secondary is really going to be charged with, tasked with defending and shutting down. But I like their opportunities to do that with who you have left. The thing is, I do worry about LSU in the run game in this one because of the opt-outs that you have specifically at the linebacker spot, and no Jack Pyburn, who is a phenomenal run defender for you. That does worry me. I do think Houston will be able to run the ball successfully against LSU, which not many teams have been able to do without a mobile quarterback. So if you're LSU, it's pretty simple. You have to shut down the run and force Connor Wegman to beat you with his arm, because while his numbers are better, he is still not a great passer of the football. We know that. We've all seen that, and that hasn't really changed very much. So if you're LSU, that is your path to victory on the defensive side, is make Houston one-dimensional and make Connor Wegman have to beat you with his arm, because you still have a pretty tooled-up secondary to defend with. Offensively for LSU, I mean, you're going up against a Houston defense, which isn't great. I think it was 6th in the Big 12 from what I was looking at earlier. They will have full complement of guys there to defend against an LSU offense that has just been poor, to say the least. And you'll be without Aaron Anderson, who's been one of your most reliable receivers for the last 2 years. And I definitely think that matters, but that could open the door for a guy like Nick Anderson to maybe come in a little bit more, provided he's healthy. Trey'Dez Green obviously will be a huge weapon for LSU. Houston does not have anybody on their team that can match up with that guy. They just don't, because not many people do. But LSU has got to find a way to establish the run. It's the same thing we've talked about all season with this team. If they can establish some sort of a running game, whether that be with Harlan Berry and Caden Durham, maybe a nice mix of Michael Van Buren extending plays, but his decision-making and accuracy has got to be better. And I just don't know if he's going to have the time in the pocket to sit back there and make those decisions and throw. LSU's offensive line, they have not been good all season long. I mean, they have really, 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 really struggled. But I will tell you this, I think LSU's offense really hampers it here in this game as well, even against a Houston team that isn't great, but they're solid on defense. They're just kind of a solid team in general. And I think it is an uphill battle. LSU is the more talented team. I think LSU will actually have more fire under them playing in this game because of the Frank Wilson element. They want to send him out a winner. This team wants to send Frank Wilson out a winner. But the one thing they can't do is get into a high-scoring game. LSU has got to muddy and muck this game up on Saturday with their defense, because you haven't seen it all year. And I don't think now, all of a sudden, the LSU offense has a 40-point effort in them. We'll see. They will take on the Houston Cougars in the Texas Bowl on Saturday, 8:15 kick. That'll close out the 2025 season. We'll have a recap for you on Monday's show. We'll grab a break right now. Come back, continue bowl game conversation. Chris Marler, LouisianaSports.net. He hops on next on AFR.
After further review.
Let's Rev, R-E-V, letsrev.com, letsrev.com. You ever just get super frustrated at super slow internet? Oh, we've all been there, man. The little spinning wheel, slamming your keyboard or your mouse, pounding the desk because it's so frustrating. Your internet's so slow. Storm comes, knocks the power out, knocks the internet out, knocks the cable out. You're so frustrated. Maybe that's just me because I get kind of angry about things. But it's annoying. Nobody wants that to happen. Rev can help. They're local and 5 gigs, lightning fast speeds, and backed by an all-fiber network. Fiber. It's buried under the ground. I mean, you don't have to worry about a storm coming, knocking the power lines down. Let's Rev. Listen, more than 70,000 Louisiana homeowners and business owners trust Rev. You should as well. REV. 90 years of local experience. LetsRev.com. LetsRev.com.
Trust isn't given. It's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. now backed by the trusted Fabry family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, we roll along here. Tuesday edition of AFR presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Musso in for Moscona. We welcome on Chris Marler now, LouisianaSports.net, locked on Gamecocks. You can get him on Twitter, X, at Vern Funquist _. Is that right now, Marler? At Vern, is the underscore at the end?
Vern _ Funquist.
Vern Funquist for Chris Marler on Twitter. How's it going, man? I feel like I haven't talked to you in a few hours.
Yeah, it's great. I appreciate you having me on, man. I'm excited. It's been I'm just ready for it to get to the final week of the year, where I don't know if it's like Wednesday or February, but there's like 3 meaningless bowl games on every day, and I can't wait.
That seems to start this weekend. We'll get to that because Saturday's slate is actually pretty appetizing. It's the first kind of full Saturday of bowl season. But before, I mean, look, you obviously do the Locked On Gamecocks podcast. I know you and I were talking earlier about Sterling Lucas coming over to LSU to be the defensive line coach. What do you make of that move?
I think it's the best move out of any of the assistant coaches, and I say that knowing full well how good of a coach Charlie Weiss Jr. is, and a couple of those guys that are key pieces like Kevin Smith coming over to coach the running backs. Sterling Lucas is a guy that, like, you think about the success he had at South Carolina, and I know it was Elijah Robinson was rumored. I think this is a much better hire than Elijah Robinson because it's very rare. And honestly, man, maybe Frank Wilson's a good example of this. As much as we all love Frank Wilson, it's very rare to have a combination of like that guy is elite at identifying talent and then developing talent, but also still a very, very good recruiter at a high level in the toughest conference in the country, like in the SEC. So that guy was the key recruiter for a lot of the big time recruits that South Carolina got out of that DMV area up in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And it was, and I think on his little short list and resume of guys that he signed to Carolina, it was Lenore Sellers, Nick Harbor, and Dylan Stewart. Kind of shocked that Dylan Stewart just announced he's going to stay at South Carolina, not follow him to LSU. But I think that's a home run hire for Kiffin. And a guy, like I said, that can recruit, but not just that, but like identifying the talent and then putting them in the NFL, or taking a guy like Kyle Kennard out of the portal, who's a former 3-star recruit that he turned into the SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, and the Nagurski winner as well.
Yeah,
I mean it was a great year in 2024 for Kyle Kennard, obviously of South Carolina. You're right, man. I mean, look, the staff that Kiffin put together, it looks awesome on paper, and that's the only way we can judge it right now because. You know, we don't even know what the team's going to look like next year. They haven't had a spring or been able to coach a game yet. Let's talk some bowl games, specifically Saturday, because, I mean, you've got some marquee names, even matching up against each other here. A lot of Power 4 on Power 4. How about this? I think going into the season, a lot of people thought we could see Penn State and Clemson in the postseason, just not in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. But that's what we get, and Clemson's a 3-point favorite. Anything you like in that one?
There's not a single thing I like in that.
Really?
The only thing I like is that the two teams and the team that plays in the stadium they'll be playing in all consistently underachieved this year, and I think every single one of those fan bases deserved it. There's nothing more fitting than the two top 5 teams playing in a place that they could not have underachieved more during the Major League Baseball season. So I'm pumped about that. I think it'll be interesting to see kind of who's left at Penn State. I don't know. I don't even know what the line is. I would
3.
hammer
Clemson 3. Clemson 3.
Oh, hammer Clemson. Because I don't think that Penn State – I don't know who's there anymore. I think Matt Campbell, it's just him and the Will Smith Fresh Prince meme where it's just him in the living room. I don't know if there's anybody still remaining from that recruiting class or that's not left in the portal.
All right, one that I know you'll actually have thoughts on because it involves an SEC team is the game right before LSU and Houston in the Texas Bowl. And it's Virginia and Missouri. And look, for Missouri, it's going to be Matt Zollers at quarterback. Bo Perbula's already entered the portal. He's not going to play in the bowl game. Obviously, he was dealing with injuries and whatnot. Anyway, they'll face Virginia, the surprise team of the ACC until they weren't, and it was Duke. Missouri's a 4-point favorite, though, in the Gator Bowl on Saturday night.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is big for me personally for a number of reasons, but mainly because Matt Zollers, I would really like to get ahead of the NIL train next year and profit off his name myself with the Zollers Dollar Bills reference. If he can get things going in that bowl game, I do think from a beat your chest and brag about your conference alignment or conference ties type of angle. That's a really big game. You're talking about the 8th best team in the SEC. That's a 4-point favorite of the regular season champ from the ACC. So I think that'll be really interesting. I think one of those teams will probably be playing with a lot more of a chip on their shoulder. But I will also say, and that would be Virginia, but I will also say there's a few times that I think that Eli Drinkwitz would ever turn down an opportunity to go prove a point to somebody. And he would have the opportunity to prove a point if he can take an 8-4 Missouri team to a 9th win, the third straight season with nine or more wins, and then also beat, like I said, the regular season ACC champs.
Yeah, and but that's the thing with Virginia, right, though, Chris, is, can Tony Elliott get that team back in the right headspace? They could have been playing in the playoff last weekend had they just taken care of business against Duke, and now they're in the Gator Bowl. I think that is something to kind of guard against as well with the Cavaliers in that one. And look, Missouri's a good team. Missouri's not great. They're not elite. There's a good team. They're more than capable of going in there and winning. I think kind of winning handedly. See, I'm wondering if I should wait and do the Pop-Tarts Bowl last or LSU.
Let's do the Pop-Tart Bowl first because we have to take our job seriously.
All right. Pop-Tarts Bowl, the only ranked-on-ranked matchup, the first ranked-on-ranked matchup, I believe, in bowl season so far. Georgia Tech and BYU.
Listen, I almost called you, but you were on air. So that's me.
Well, thank you.
Respecting your professionalism.
I appreciate that.
Because only one of us has that, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. But I will tell you, I got a text from a buddy of mine that I used to stand up with in Atlanta, and Jordan Eichenblatt, and he goes, "Hey, man, I just want to say thanks for all the support." And I was like, "Did you mean to send me this? Is this like a mass Christmas text that I don't want to be a part of?" And he's like, "No, the stuff with the Pop-Tart Bowl." And I was like, "Are you affiliated with the Pop-Tart Bowl?" Find out this dude is the head of marketing, which is the best bowl of the season. It is the best bowl. Absolutely. Listen, I've got a lot of friends that I'm very proud to know, and I'm very proud of all the great things they've accomplished. The new power rankings came out from my friends today, and Jordan Eichenblatt just soared to the top. That is, he's number one on the big board there. No, but the Pop-Tart Bowl, man, it's just it's so great because it's so fun for what bowl games should be. And I was like, I get where Notre Dame's coming from not playing in it. I think this is such a great matchup. I think it'll be so much fun. Haynes King, he will be beaten into a bloody stump like he is every single game that he plays in that offense, and then he will probably emerge victorious. I think it's two really good teams that for a while we thought were going to both make the college football playoff when they were either going in the month of November before they had any coordinators leave, like Georgia Tech with Lester Faulkner. So very excited about that bowl. Probably the only bowl I'm as excited about the on-field part of it as I am about the off-field part of it, because that's going to be must-see TV.
Yeah, the Pop-Tarts Bowl is always must. The helmets are awesome this
The
year.
helmets are awesome.
Love the helmets. I'm sure they're going to put another Pop-Tart in a toaster, which is just great. I wonder if the other one from last year is going to come back from the dead too, like Strawberry Pop-Tart did in the last iteration of the Pop-Tart Bowl. And also, huh? What'd you say? Oh, did I just?
Is that too much? Pop-Tart Jesus? I probably should have said that.
No, I didn't hear you. I was asking what you were saying. I did not hear a word that you said. And the other thing is now, so are we going to the Pop-Tarts Bowl next year?
I think we might be going to the Pop-Tart Bowl next year.
I mean, you have an in. You have an in.
I would rather go to that than the national championship. Unless LSU's in it or one of my 8 teams that I cheer for, I would love to do that. I
kind of agree that I'd rather go to the Pop-Tart Bowl than the national championship.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else in bowl season so far that's coming up that you want to talk about before we get to LSU and Houston?
Rose Bowl game might got a little bit.
Well, okay. I mean, but that's a week from Thursday. Like, we got time for that.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, LT Overton, Alabama defensive lineman, just posted that he might be back for it. So, kind of breaking news there, which would be pretty good as well. But no, let's talk about the Houston Bowl, Texas Bowl.
All right. Texas Bowl, LSU and Houston. LSU's got the opt-outs in this one. Houston doesn't. The Cougs are a slight favorite, 2.5. It's actually moved from 3 to 2.5 today. So I guess a little bit more in favor of LSU. What intrigues you about this matchup here?
Man, just a new setting for LSU to be in. A new city for them to travel to. Not something we've seen even under a year ago. It's cool that we got just different vibes here. I think if you would have asked an LSU fan, would you? What if I told you you were going to be, instead of the CFP, you're going to be back in the Texas Bowl? I think they would have fought you on the site. I do think it's still a big game. I think it'll be a fun game because you're talking about a ranked. What people, at least I forget about a lot, it's a ranked Power 4 opponent because they are part of the Big 12 now. You got a former Aggie that you can hopefully harass at quarterback all night, Connor Wegman. So there's some storylines there. I think for me, it's you send Frank Wilson out the right way. Who on this defense that because you know that it's going to be a very, very big portal class. You and I were joking about this earlier today in the office. That LSU might sign 25 guys in the portal, and that might be light considering how much turnover will happen anytime there's a new coach. So I think that'll be interesting. Who kind of makes a name for themselves, whether it is if they go into the portal and they can put stuff on film. That's one of the things I feel like I finally have realized about the portal, especially in the NFL part of it, where in having backups in bowl games, backups during the season, like actually able to put stuff on film. Everyone wants to be paid nowadays. It's hard to do that if you're seeing the field roll. So it's an opportunity for every single kid that steps out on the field to make a reason why the coach should, I hate to use this phrase, but it's the day and age of college football, re-sign them, or if they want to go elsewhere and hopefully make some a little bit of a payday for themselves before if they're even able to go to the NFL. So I think it'll be some fun stuff. It feels like there's starting to be a reason to play again and take the bowl games somewhat seriously, even though the starters will be out. It'll be interesting because at least at the very least, you've got guys on both sides in most of these bowls that are opting out, not just the marquee guys anymore.
Yeah, man. I talked about this in the last segment, and you just brought it up too. The Frank Wilson component of this is interesting because LSU definitely has the most opt-outs out of the two teams in this game, and it's not often that you see the team with the opt-outs play the hardest. But I think that's going to be the case on Saturday because they want to send Frank out a winner, and when you have the talent advantage, that's really something to. You have a motivated, more talented team that could end up being the difference on Saturday night. Chris Marler, LouisianaSports.net, Locked On Gamecocks, at Vern_Funquist on Twitter X. We appreciate you hopping on, man. Merry Christmas, and I'll probably talk to you later or next week for sure.
Yeah. I'll talk to you guys then. Y'all have a good Christmas.
All right, man. Later. That is Chris Marler. We're going to grab a break. Come back on the other side. It's After Further Review presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Before we grab that break, a message from Matt about Shaw Bills.
Brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. They will always find a way to get you the best possible price for the best possible tires on the road. That's what they do at Shawbills. And when they get you in by selling you the best tires, the cheapest price possible, they're going to treat you like family, and they're going to treat you so good you're going to keep coming back year after year after year every time you need anything for your vehicle. Tires rotated, oil changed, check engine light on, brakes squeaking, whatever's wrong with your vehicle, bring it to Shawbills. Let them give it the once-over, and you can always schedule online, so it's convenient. ShawBillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Shop tires online at ShawBillsTire.com. Be sure to ask about the Shawbills credit card as well, because you can save $50 off your first purchase when you use the Shawbills credit card only at Shawbills.
All right, a couple more segments here to go before we send you into your Christmas holiday, and we'll take our Christmas holiday as well. We're back on Monday, no shows the rest of the week. We'll grab a break, come back on the other side, give you our final thoughts on Saints-Titans. That is Sunday. Saints looking to make it 4 straight on the season. We'll give you a final thought on that game when we return next here on AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, do what injured people in Louisiana have done for more than 30 years. Call Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 888-8888. It's all 8s. 888-8888. I don't even need to give you the area code, because no matter where you are in the state, it doesn't matter. Just dial 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon does an awesome job, man. He's a great person. They've been so invested in our communities with all the charitable and service work that they do. They give back into the communities that they represent, no matter what time of year. If it's the bike giveaway for kids around Christmas time, if it's the laptop giveaway around back to school time, if it's the charitable work they do during October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, they're always involved in the community. We tell you all the time, of course, about the G Team and what Gordon's done with NIL and the opportunities that he's afforded student athletes. Just a great, great community partner. If you've been injured, you need representation, go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Most roofers just replace your shingles.
At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me. Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel?
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. You know, when we talk about Relief Windows every day, I always say windows, doors, siding. And now shutters as well. They do your indoor shutters. Same thing as the windows. Custom made, measured to fit your windows, custom fit for your windows, lifetime warranty on your windows, your shutters. But Brandon, you often hear say their number one product is customer satisfaction. And that's not just a catchy line. That's not a cliche phrase. Have an experience with Relief Windows and you'll understand. They go to the ends of the earth to make sure their customers are thrilled with the work they do. As a matter of fact, Relief Windows never takes $1 from you. You will not, no deposit, no down payment. They take all the risk. They will not take $1 until you're thrilled with the work they do. Who else does that? Only Relief Windows. Check them out online at ReliefWindows.com.
All right, welcome back in after further review here on a Tuesday. Saints will travel up to Nashville. They will face the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, looking to make it 4 in a row. That'd be the Saints' first 4-game winning streak, as Ross Jackson told us earlier, since 2020 when Drew Brees was the quarterback. The Saints won 9 in a row that year en route to a playoff appearance where they would obviously lose to the Buccaneers. So, look, things are trending up with the New Orleans Saints, and I think you look at this matchup against the Tennessee Titans, you see a 3-12 team, you see a 5-10 Saints team, and how the Saints have been playing, and you go, man, this is a great opportunity to get another one and keep building. Keep building on the success that Tyler Shuck is having, the development that Tyler Shuck is having. Keep building on the success that the defense is having and the development of young players there, like Jonas Sanker, like an Isaiah Stallbird, like a Kool-Aid McKinstry, Chase Young, even in that. Who we talked about it briefly yesterday. Chase Young's having an awesome season, y'all. Like Chase Young missed the first 5 games. He's played 10 games. He's got 7 sacks. Like that is a great ratio. That's a great pace to be on. He's starting to look like the player that everyone thought he could be coming out of Ohio State when he was the 2nd overall pick in the draft. So he's still very young, keeping the development going there. This looks on paper like it's a great opportunity to do all of those things. However, the Tennessee Titans and the New Orleans Saints are more similar than you might think, even recently. I mean, you look at these two teams as a whole, and they are two offenses that have really, really struggled for the bulk of the season. In fact, both the Saints and the Titans have each scored 24 touchdowns on the year. That's it. Both of them. And you might say, yeah, but Musa, the Saints offense is playing really well right now. And you're right, they are. In the Saints' last 3 games, in this 3-game winning streak, the Saints are averaging 24 points per game. That's well above their average for the season, which, by the way, if you're keeping score at home, is 17 points per game. You're averaging a touchdown more in your last 3. Playing really well. And look, it's helped result in 3 wins. The problem is, so are the Tennessee Titans. In fact, they're actually playing better than you offensively in the last 3 games because they've won 2 out of their last 3. This isn't like the Saints are a team just completely ascending, going one way, and the Titans are going the other. No. The Titans have won 2 of 3. The Saints have won 3 in a row. The only game the Titans lost was to the Niners, who may end up being the 1 seed in the NFC when this is all said and done. And they still put up 24 points in that game. In Tennessee's last 3, they're averaging 27 points a game. So both of these offenses are playing extremely well. Why is Tennessee playing better? Well, they found the running game, first and foremost. Tony Pollard has gone over 100 yards in the last 3 games. Those are his first 100-yard rushing games of the season. He racked up 161 against the Browns, 104 against the Niners, and 102 a week ago against the Chiefs. He's also scored 3 touchdowns. That has opened this up for Cam Ward in that offense a little bit more, something he did not have the first chunk of the season. And you're seeing him play better as well. 6 touchdowns, 1 interception in his last 3 games. A much better completion percentage and creeping up on 600 yards passing. The Saints have to stop the run. They have to stop the run in this game. Make the Titans one-dimensional. Make Cam Ward beat you with his arm. He has had his struggles with that plenty this season when he did not have the running game for the first, call it 12 games of the season. That's the task. Now, it's easier said than done. Yes, the Saints defense is playing much better. They're giving up 15 points per game in their last 7. But the one thing they've still struggled with in that time, or I shouldn't say struggled, been very inconsistent with, is their performance against the run. The New Orleans Saints have allowed just four 100-yard rushers this season. But they have allowed teams to rush well on them. It's been much more of a team effort against the New Orleans Saints running the ball. And why they may not have the luxury is the forecast in this game. It's not necessarily going to be super cold up in Nashville, but there is a 60% chance of rain in the afternoon on Sunday up at Tennessee. Now look, the Saints acquitted themselves quite well in the rain against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a couple weeks ago, won that game, ran the ball extremely well, and did a pretty bang-up job stopping the run that day against Tampa. Not great. I mean, they gave up well over 150 yards, but they were able to outrush the opponent and control time of possession. You saw Tyler Shuck in that game, obviously, really take hold of it with his legs. You might not have that luxury this time as Tyler Shuck's banged up with the hip. You're not going to have Alvin Kamara, as we were kind of talking with Ross earlier. Probably still not going to have Devin Neal. It's going to be a very similar aspect to what you saw a week ago, which means a lot of Taysom Hill, a lot of Audric Estime, a lot of Evan Hull. Is that enough to keep pace and to control the clock against the Tennessee team that wants to do the exact same thing? I think it can be. Because while these teams are very similar, in a lot of ways, there's one difference. The Saints defense is very good. The Saints defense is now a top 10 defense in the NFL. And they have improved just tenfold over the course of the year. Tennessee is not. The Tennessee Titans defense is dreadful. It has been all season. And it still is. The Titans, especially recently too. We talked about them averaging 27 points per game in their last 3. On offense, their defense has given up 29 points per game. That is the weak unit in this game. I think that is the difference in the game. When we talked to Ross Jackson earlier, he said fast start for the Saints, which is something they haven't had a lot, create a deficit, because that also would take away Tennessee's maybe ability to run the football to get back in it. That's another way you turn the ball over to Cam Ward and make him beat you with his arm. This comes down to the defenses. The Saints had the better defense. The forecast isn't completely horrible. It's not you're going to go up there and it's going to be 20 degrees, right? I trust the Saints defense because it travels to go on the road and be able to shut down a very hot Tennessee offense. And I think the New Orleans Saints get it done and win 4 games in a row. I think they beat the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. They're a slight favorite. 2.5 is the line. I think you could see it stretch to probably about a touchdown spread for the Saints when it's all said and done for them to win the game, not the actual line. But I would pick the Saints somewhere along the line of 24-17 in this ball game against, that might be a bit ambitious. That's a lot of touchdowns for the Saints offense. Let's go, let's go 23 or 22-17ish. So not quite a touchdown spread. 22-17 though. I like the Saints to get the job done against Tennessee on Sunday. All right, we're going to grab a break, come back on the other side, close out a Tuesday edition of AFR, close out the week here on AFR with Otterlocks. That's next. Stick around.
AFR.
Tiger Stadium 15 times, that'd be roughly 1.5 million people. That's how many realtors there are in the United States. Darren James ranked number 14 in the country when it comes to the numbers of homes sold. It's Wall Street Journal's Real Trends list. Think about what I just said. Fill up Tiger Stadium 15 times, and of all those people, Darren James ranked number 14. You need to get to a closing table. Need to sell your home fast for the most amount of money. You need the absolute best customer service experience with constant communication and results. Well, you need Darren James. So, call Darren. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666. That's Darren's cell. Or go to agent225.com, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Quick reminder about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're the best. If you are, gentlemen, thinking about popping the question and you're thinking about where am I going to go buy that diamond, I want you to consider this. There are places that will sell you man-made lab diamonds, but what are you buying? It's according to its makeup and characteristics, sure, diamond. But is it going to hold its value? Like, is that the way you want to say, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you? Go to Lee Michaels. Go to Lee Michaels. Walk in the door. Experience the thing I talk about all the time, which is the Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 10 locations. Baton Rouge, 2 locations in Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, Mississippi, Texas as well. 10 locations across 3 states. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her, gentlemen. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
All right, we're closing out the week here on After Further Review, sending you off into your Christmas holiday, and we're going to do so with our Christmas gift to you. That would be winners, courtesy of our guy, the Yacht Father. It's time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you, Otter?
Good, brother. How about you?
Doing fantastic. Getting ready to start this Christmas break, man.
Yes, indeed. So, nice little. We put him out. Hunt put him out earlier today. So we got the first one in, Toledo plus the point. So that
goes.
The Western Kentucky. I forgot who was the dog in that one, but Western Kentucky or what did we put out?
I believe Western Kentucky was the favorite in that game, Otter.
No. Southern Miss went from 1.5 to 3.
Okay.
From 1.5 to 3. So I was looking at all dogs, but anyway, it's still very close, and it's going to go right down to the wire. So you're looking to play it, take the points right now. I think it's 4.5 live right now. 5.5.
Yep.
So yeah, I would recommend taking the Hilltoppers right now plus 5.5. The best bet of the night tonight's the Bobcats out of Ohio. Look, they lost their coach, little shenanigans up there in Athens, Ohio, but everybody's playing, man. They're ready to go. They are really on a roll as of late, catching points, playing near the neck of the woods. So we like Ohio plus the points tonight. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve, Hawaii plus the 1.5. That's one of our best bets on the board for the bowl season, including Matt Humans from Beeson, who will be at the game. So he's 2 for 2 in his pending games in Hawaii. The opener against Stanford, and then also as a double-digit underdog that won by 30 against San Diego State. So we're taking that one as well. So getting ready for the playoffs as well, and a lot of bowl games this weekend. So, well, continue to follow us. We'll be posting those on LouisianaSports.net.
Absolutely. So there we go. We got a live bet on Western Kentucky plus the points if you're into that. Ohio as the Otters' best bet plus the 7, and Hawaii tomorrow evening on Christmas Eve, because the Hawaii Bowl is just a Christmas tradition. I mean, quite honestly, at this point.
Yes.
What's Christmas Eve without
Timmy Chang, brother, 12-1 against the spread the last 2 years at home. So hecka leka ma hecka honey ho, whatever that is. So go get it.
All right, Otter. That's just the football. No basketball or anything tonight.
No.
All right.
Just football.
All right, and the guys are off with the rest of us for this week. Jimmy, we appreciate the time, man. Merry Christmas, obviously to you and yours, and we'll talk to you next week.
Merry Christmas, my man. Good luck.
Good luck. That is Jimmy Ott with Otterlocks. Man, we are just about set to get out of here. Obviously, I want to thank y'all for listening so far here this week. Scone is out until the new year. Scone will be back on Monday, January the 5th. So I'll be taking it the rest of the way here for 2025. Again, as you kind of just heard me allude to there, this is our last day. We are counting down the minutes here of this show right now, and then we're out for the rest of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to observe Christmas. We'll have a pregame show for the Texas Bowl on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. Hanny and I will be live from the Rouses on Burbank and Lee, walking you up to kickoff for the final time this season between LSU and the Houston Cougars. No post-game show, just pregame for Eagle 98.1 game day this week. So if you're in the car, if you need something to get hyped for the Texas Bowl, we will obviously be there. Airtime 3:15. We'll walk you right up to network pregame at 6:15. They'll take you the rest of the way on the LSU Sports Radio Network for kickoff between LSU and Houston. So tune in if you will. Other than that, we are back on Monday. Wishing you all a very safe, happy, healthy, Merry Christmas with you and yours. Hope you get a lot of great gifts, eat a lot of great food, spend a lot of great time with family as well. And we will be back here on Monday recapping Saints Titans as well as LSU and Houston in the Texas Bowl. And boy, then the portal frenzy will really start. So keep it locked here on AFR and, of course, on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Merry Christmas, and see you on Monday.
AFR.
Brought to you by Parish Construction Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Tell you every day do business with someone you know. That's me and Terrio and Richard Tilley and Joe Morales and Trent Davis and our whole staff. We appreciate everyone so much who's giving us the opportunity. Our commercial roofing manager, Matt Pearson, sent us all a text that we were just awarded a large commercial roofing job today, and they heard us talking about it. And yes, of course, at your home, any roof repair, replacement, we love to help you out. We can install gutters for you. We do soft wash, do all of it. But I want to remind you that we are a commercial roofing company as well. So if your commercial building needs a new roof or repair, you're having any issues whatsoever, we have the best guy. We went and scoured the world and found Matt Pearson in Florida, and we brought him to Baton Rouge. I'm convinced there's not a soul alive that knows more about commercial roofing than Matt Pearson. So if your commercial building is having any roof issues, roof repair, replacement, or you just need options, trust me, have a conversation with Matt Pearson. We'd love to help you out. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com.
This menu is a masterpiece, delivers every time.
This is the worst party ever. Raisin Cane's!
Let's go!
The party is saved!
Peter, Mr. Billingsley.
Celebrate the holidays with Raisin Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact